Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be our second episode of our adventure in Dragonlance. Now, in our first session, we received a letter from Becklin Uth Viharin, and within it she informed us that our mutual friend, Ispin Greenshield, peacefully passed away in his hometown of Vogler. Deciding to attend, our characters ventured forth from their homes to arrive at Vogler on the eve of his funeral. On the way, we saw Elathi Saren, a centaur druid, and Eldquin Fryn, a human sorcerer, take their initiation trial to join the Order of High Sorcery. Given a thread-bound scroll and a mage's spellbook as a gift, they were instructed to deliver that scroll to a superior, a mage living in Calaman. Taking advantage of teleportation magic, they both arrived in Calaman to board a river ferry alongside two other adventurers. Nimoy Fryn, a human ranger and brother of Eldquin, alongside Thrag, a Leonin barbarian, both of which spent the better part of a month trekking across Ansalon from the forests of Cairn and the Kelatar Midlands, respectively. Crossing the Vingard River and taking landfall on a small dock in the Hinlands, our party set foot to Vogler. What would be a small 3-day journey would not be uneventful, as our party would run across Riss, a panic-stricken stable hand who fled from a caravan ambush just up the road. Babbling in fear, he told our party of robed figures assailing his mercenary employers. Agreeing to help, our party sallied forth, turning a bend some 300 yards ahead to arrive at the scene of a slaughter. 5 terrifying robed creatures were looting the bodies and belongings of their slain victims, and our adventurers had the element of surprise. So, with a volley of arrows, they joined combat. Barking in Draconic, the leader ordered half their number to flee, but only one would escape. The rest would be cut down, vanishing into clouds of dust, ash, and boiling acid. Although terrifying and skilled, these draconic monsters would barely scratch the party, a feat of divine providence and skill, Riss would later recall to all who will listen. The caravan itself belonged to men who wore ornate Solamnic armaments. Too badly damaged to be of any use, these items were discarded, save for 3 long swords. And unfortunately, they carried no written orders. Looting what they could, our battle-tested group would venture forth, completing the last leg of their journey and arriving in the northern fields of Vogler. Farmland and densely wooded hills stretch as far as the eye can see to the north, with the mighty river to the south. Wedged between the high cliffs of the hinterlands and the Vingard River to the south, Vogler would be out of sight from their northern approach, save for the wisps of chimney smoke and the ruins of an old keep perched on the western cliffs. Welcome to Session 2, everyone. And I will read you your intro to Vogler as you take a turn on the main road and descend into the town proper. And while I do that, I will share with all of you the map of Ansalam, should you want to reacquaint yourself to where we are physically. And I will share with you the map of Vogler, which you can refer to as I read our intro. I also discovered that rediscovered a very cool feature, which allows me to just take the text right out of the module and put it into our chat window so you can read along if you choose to, or refer to it again after I've already
Nice.
blurted it out. The fishing village of Vogler clings to a spit of land reaching into the Vingard River. Wooded cliffs overlook the community, and the only path from the north descends past the ivy-covered remnants of a crumbling stone keep. The village's modest wooden buildings cluster around a quaint central circle and along the riverbank. Jutting into the river, out of place and seemingly out of time, stands an incomplete stone bridge of incredible artsmanship. The structure clearly dates to before the Cataclysm, eclipsing its modern peers in size and sturdiness. The bridge crosses less than half the river's width before giving way to a series of ropes and tethered rafts serving as ferries. On the river itself, dozens of small boats drift along the slow, murky waters as the fishers of Vogler ply their trade. We will be arriving on the road to the Highland Hills on the northwest part of the Vogler map, and our party will be approaching the river gate. Now, if there's anything our party would like to say as you're walking into town or address amongst yourselves, feel free to pipe up and RP to your heart's content.
Eld. You're going to talk, right? To the guards when we come in? I don't like, you know me, I don't like do the talking to the people.
Sure, I can do that.
Right. It's good. Good. In fact, you know what? All of you stand in front of me, I stand in back. That make me comfortable. Is that okay with everyone?
You do not like speaking.
I do not like, too many people. Towns. Lots of talking, lots of moving heads. I rather just keep things local, you know?
But there's so many interesting people to meet in towns.
This is true. This is very true, Lovey.
And then a subset of those people you get to beat up when they try and steal your stuff.
That is a big jump you make. I know what you're worried about.
Everywhere.
She is not wrong. She could defeat many people.
You will, this I understand, but you will understand of me that I am used to not so many people. I rather not engage in direct conversation with, too many people till we get to a funeral. If any of you wish to, go by all means. Eld, you will protect me, right?
So you're saying that you cannot defeat these villagers?
I imagine if there were like 10 of them, no. No, I probably not. Could you?
He's in deep thought for a moment.
You think about that.
12. I could take on 12.
Well, I think there's probably more than 12 in there, so...
Well, I think that's my sign to hit the old dusty trail, Riss says as he steps towards the river gate.
You know,
yes.
I would make same decisions, so...
Thank you again for saving me. I'll raise a glass for you at the crab if I see you later.
What is crab?
The brass crab. It's the
animal?
Tavern.
Beast? A tavern! Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice place.
You know why it's called crab?
It's probably easier for you to just see it, but it looks crabbish.
This makes sense.
But thank you again, all of you.
What was name? What was your name?
Oh, Riss.
Riss. Alright, I remember it.
Do you need anything else to get back to their home?
Oh, no, I should be okay. I've got a few irons on me. I should be able to afford whatever I need.
Good.
Okay.
Do you know if there are any knights in this town?
I don't think Vogler has any knights. I did hear that they had one.
No, they have two.
Yes.
Oh, I guess they do. They have two now. Are you staying here?
For a time, but I must report these deaths.
Well, I suppose probably the mayor would be who to talk to about that. Or maybe the knight. I mean, whatever you want to do, Mister could kill 12 or so commoners.
I never said kill.
It was like a wrestling match, is what I was thinking.
Oh, yes. You know what? That seems much more well-adjusted.
I know first time you meet us, we kill things, but that's not what we do all the time, right?
I seldom do I kill things. I simply punch them.
I will not argue.
Good luck to you, Riz. We will see you, perhaps again in the future.
That sounds good, Mr. Friend. Thank you.
Wait.
He
Call me Nemo.
was halfway turned around when you said wait.
He
Slowly
rummages.
turns back.
He rummages through the bag.
He's rummaging. Just give him a moment.
Here, he pulls out the longsword he took from one of the knights, and he gives it to him. This will be you. This way, you will be able to adequately defend yourself.
I can't take this. I don't know how to use a sword.
Oh well, of course you don't grab this side. You
Turns
grab
around.
this is the handle.
I appreciate it, sir, but I don't know how to use a sword.
I'll show you. It's just very simple.
No, I think it's far too dangerous a skill for myself. I'd rather just run really fast.
Put sword in hand and feel for a moment.
He takes the
just
sword
do it.
and waggles it.
Does it not feel good?
This is really heavy.
But you can defend yourself, right?
If they fell on it, maybe?
It's like a stick.
You keep swinging it. You get the hang of it, right?
Okay.
Sometimes just kick. Kicking works too.
Not everyone never mind.
Well,
The strategy is to run real fast. That's fine. The sword may weigh him down.
It is true.
see,
But he could throw the sword.
It seems like a waste of a sword.
We could go pick it back up.
Well, thank you, Mr. Thrag. I'll take your advice to heart.
Very generous, Drake. Very generous.
Yes, good. Go now. Learn the ways of the sword.
All right, I will do just that, Mr. Thrag.
Next time we see you, you better be skilled swordsman.
Yeah, well, okay.
Be disappointed, if anything else.
I will cry.
He starts to walk faster away.
You will be the one to kill me one day.
This is like poetry, I like that.
I think in 2 days' time that sword belonged to someone else.
Probably, but give the boy a chance.
I will be pleasantly surprised.
Well, there is gate in front of us and many people to talk to, so
Okay.
let's just find our way to funeral home.
What time of day is it right now?
You are fortunate enough to have arrived just after the, afternoon. So sometime between, I guess, early afternoon and early evening. You know that the funeral itself is to be held at dusk, so you have a handful of hours to yourself before you are hoping to be anywhere specific.
Why is this funeral? It's at dusk. Why? We will not be able to see Ispen or his corpse.
They have candles, don't they?
They put candles on Ispen.
Around him, to light the place. Have you never
What
seen a
is it?
chandelier before?
I have.
Whatever they do for his wishes. We should probably secure lodging for the evening.
Good idea. This crab, do you think it have lodging?
I'm unsure.
The crab?
We'll
Wait,
try it out.
this crab will give us lodgings.
Brass crab. It is a
It's
tavern, so I would.
Oh.
assume.
Oh, I thought the crab was made of brass.
Maybe.
Oh, look, there's the gate.
Yeah, the first details you will notice as you approach the river gate is that it stands completely open and it is entirely unguarded.
Ah,
No talking to do.
I like this town already.
Yep. As you approach the gate, you will see that it is a 15-foot tall wooden archway carved with 2 leaping fish into its frame. And oh, I forgot to write down everybody's passives again. Let me pull
You
those
want
up.
'em back?
I'm pulling them up currently. Oh wow, everybody's got decent passive perception. Well, okay, sorry, Eldquin. I hadn't opened yours yet. So everybody but Eldquin will see as you're walking through the gate that the scales of these fish have been inscribed in a variety of different hands with small, well, from a brief look, they appear to be prayers. But
Written
from
on the... Where are these prayers?
The scales of the fish that make up the 2 sides of the archway.
Are they scales of living fish, or is this stonework?
Oh, it's woodwork.
Woodwork.
It's a 15-foot wooden gate with 2 leaping fish on the left and right that create the archway.
And carved on the scales are prayers.
Yes.
Okay. What language?
All of them appear to be in common,
Okay.
or at least every single one of them you see as you're traveling under it.
Okay. Would I know what this is by any chance? Is this like a local thing to here, or is this something that is done elsewhere?
This is,
this unique?
I would say it's a relatively unique tradition.
Okay. Okay.
If it is a tradition. It certainly appears to be age-old, as some of these are old enough to have been worn by time, and others look to be more freshly carved.
I haven't seen this kind of thing before then. Okay.
No.
Strange. Very strange.
What strange?
The carvings they put into the wood. Looks like messages or wishes or prayers or something. This excellent woodsman work. Actually, is this real thing really well carved?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. There's no guards or attendees. Nimoy's like up against the wood as we pass through. He won't linger, but he gets close to it to look at its quality as we pass.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, giving it a closer look, you would notice a couple details. One of them is that most of these prayers appear to be asking for wealth or good fortune or good luck fishing on the rivers.
They are their wishes and luck and prayer, and this is charming. The woodwork's not half bad.
Another
boy.
detail you will note as you are inspecting the woodwork and subsequently the gates is that the doors themselves, which could close, have not been moved in so long that they're almost part of the ground. That they've been overgrown near the bottom. Vegetation has begun to climb up the bottoms of the door frames. Although they are in well enough repair that they could be closed, these must not have been closed in maybe 2-3 decades.
That's a good sign. I think Nimoy looks pleased.
Well, they may need to close them if there's there are more of those things that we encountered.
Let us hope that is only a coincidence, a one-off instance.
You're just hoping.
Perhaps they're a new breed of bandit.
Perhaps. Where are we going?
Well,
To To the mythical bronze crab you suggested.
Well,
It will give us rooms, yes?
you try to go pretty much to the town center and see if we can see from there. Otherwise, we ask people.
Sounds like a good idea. I will be watching you ask people.
It's okay with me?
And it's okay with me.
All right, and our party will make their way into the center of Vogler, following the main road from the river gate, past a small wooded area towards where most of the buildings are centralized. It would not be difficult to find the brass crab, either by asking directions or simply by wandering around the village, it being one of the more unique-looking structures in town. But what you will see while you are traveling through the village is what almost feels like a small village, isolated and unique in its charm and warmth. Usually when you find villages out at the fringe of society, they tend to be closed and guarded with themselves, but everyone here appears to be jovial and excited and happy, probably because that Kingfisher Festival is happening. You can see there's quite a few stalls that are in the process of being built up for the celebrations to follow the next day. The energy as you're walking through the streets is one of excitement and anticipation. You see children running through the road with little fishbone puppets on strings chasing each other, while others have streamers or parents following shortly after, trying to rein in their children and keep them from wandering off and into the distance. Now, when you finally do make it to the Brass Crab, you will note that, yes, this building is trying its best to imitate a crab. The decorations on the outside of it, as well as the vague structure of the building, is crab-like. If you squint really hard and tilt your head ever so slightly, you see a giant crab. Now, the building itself is only a single story, and it is built right off the edge of the wharf of the town, so you definitely get that oceanside smell to the area. It's got fish on the wind, but not all of it is a particularly bad smell, because with that come the smells that you would expect from fish being treated and cooked. It's a very charming air that you step into when you enter the building. Now, when you do enter it, it does seem to have a healthy amount of people inside. You are on the tail end of lunch, so most people here are cleaning up and preparing to go about their business. But everyone here appears to be enjoying good food and good times. There is a large central space to the middle of this inn that is decorated with many round tables and chairs, most of which are full of the people I just mentioned. There are rooms that are built... Actually, I believe there's a map? Let me see if I can find it. Interesting. The map isn't linked here, but I could have sworn I've seen one. Anyways, I'll just continue describing the place. My bad. So, the building itself has that large central space, arrayed with tables, filled with people. It's very charming. There is a large stage built at the far end of the building from when you entered that looks out onto the wharf. And you can even see that there is a dock that connects this stage to the river itself. Now, between the center common space and this stage is a large open concept sort of bar space where you can see what must be the proprietress currently serving another notable individual. This individual, Thrag, you would recognize to be someone of note, as they are wearing the Solamnic armor. She's currently having an exchange with the innkeeper, but as you're looking through this space, she turns as if planning to leave and locks eyes with your party. She currently has her helmet in the crook of her arm, relaxed at her side, and a bright smile slowly creeps over her face when she looks at all of you. It's almost as if she's familiar and is looking at friends. She crosses the room and introduces herself. Well, you know, he always was a good storyteller. I recognize each and every one of you from them. Hello, I'm Becklin Uthvaharin. I'm at least familiar with all of you from Ispin's stories. His descriptions, apparently, were spot on. It is a pleasure to meet you, and I'm happy you've been able to make it.
Pleasure to meet you as well. Let me introduce, this is my brother, and this is Thrag, and this is Alafi. You said you recognize us, but formal introductions.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't wish to skip well-due decorum. And I will say it is a pleasure to meet all of you in the flesh. I've heard plenty of stories of all of you, but getting to meet you in person is a true blessing.
Hopefully none too revealing.
Well, if there was anything uncouth to be shared, he was polite enough to skip those details. Only good things, I promise.
It's good to meet a fellow friend of Ispin. And I see you are actually the Solamnic Knight here as well?
Yes, indeed. The keep on the hill, Thornwall, is my post. And I've been looking after Vogler for quite a while.
On that note, we have some unfortunate news.
How do you spell her name, by the way?
Becklin. And the middle name is, the title name is Uth, and let me get you the spelling for her last name.
So Becklin Uth.
Viharin is her last name. And she wasn't linked in this part of the description, which is weird, but I finally fished her image out of the records, so I'll share that with you now.
Nice.
Oh, she looks cool.
Yeah, she's an older knight, definitely in her silver gray years as far as humans are concerned. But despite her age, she definitely looks to be in peak physical shape.
We have some unfortunate news. On our travel here, we came across a cart that was being escorted by some fellow Solamnic Knights that had been waylaid, and I believe, didn't we as a group push the cart here? That was kind of the intent?
Yeah, their bodies.
That's true. Yes, you did. I forgot that detail.
Yeah, same. We have brought their bodies with us, but they were attacked by some strange winged lizard creatures. We dispatched most of them, but it is unfortunate.
Well, that certainly is unfortunate to hear. You mentioned they were Solamnic Knights? Do you know
Yeah.
what order?
Do I know what order they were from?
Their armor was torn to shreds, so any identifying sigils were beyond recognition.
No, ma'am. Their armor was shredded beyond repair. I could not tell what order they were from.
Formidable opponents indeed. I'm curious, I didn't receive any messages that Solamnic Knights were to be present, or were even on their... Are you sure they were on their way to Vogler?
I am not sure. I received leave to leave for Ispen's funeral. I am merely a squire,
We
not a full-fledged knight.
ran across their. They had hired a boy to keep their horses, and he informed us that they were out here looking for some bandits. There was a rumor of something happening to caravans that were going that direction, and so they were out there to see what the problem was.
Well, it's already a somber evening, but this news certainly puts a further damper on things. I'm sad to hear that these men have met a foul end on the road. Do you... I suppose we should bring their bodies to Thornwall, and I can write to whoever I think might know who they might be. As far as these figures that did them in, do you have any recollection of what they were, or who they were?
No, they turned to ash and smoke when killed. It turned me into a statue, if only temporarily.
Perhaps they were conjurations of some sort, then.
They also had this, and he'll kind of take out a chunk of the leather armband or whatever it was, and show it is a symbol of Tachesis.
She puts her helmet down on the table and takes it from you. Tachesis rings a bell. I believe that's one of the gods that left during the cataclysm. Interesting. I'll have to look into the matter. I'm at least grateful that you were able to recover this. But at the very least, any threat these individuals seems to oppose, you put an end to. And I certainly wouldn't expect any further trouble around Vogler, at least for the coming celebrations. Cudgel's men are camped just outside. I don't know if you noticed any of them, but there's an entire band of mercenaries that have settled up about a mile north of town.
I do not think I know this, but I do not have the keenest eyes of this group.
Well, if you were taking the road directly to Vogler, you probably didn't see them. They're a good ways up the high hill.
Ah.
Anyways, they are Redomer's cadre and are here for the funeral. So, I imagine that many armed individuals around would dissuade any banditry for at least the celebration.
That's probably true. The only thing else I'll say is I think there are more of them, just because one of them said back to the host for some of their comrades to run away. We got all but one, so one made it back to whatever this host is, but yes.
She thinks for a moment. Well, host certainly makes me wonder if perhaps conjuration is to be suspected, but...
Perhaps.
Important question here. Do the mercenaries have wings?
No, they don't. Although I did spy a couple half-orcs in their ranks, it's mostly hill dwarves and humans.
Nothing related to what we saw. Anyway, we can help you move these to your keep if you'd like, and we are mostly here to secure lodging for the evening before the funeral. So.
Ah, yes. You all should have rooms. I've arranged for them. All you have to do is, well, just mention your names and why you're here to the keeper, and she'll set you right.
Excellent.
As far as these fallen knights are concerned, I'm not going to be traveling up to Thornwell tonight, or at least anytime soon. I have more preparations to make for the funeral, but I guess for now, just leave them outside. She thinks for a moment. You know what? I've got a couple individuals who could help me. I don't want to leave bodies on the side of the road. So,
yes, we try to cover them and make it not so alarming for anyone. But
we also did not want to leave bodies on the side of the road.
No, no, that would not be very hygienic. Yes, that's the word.
yes, I think what I'll do is I'll fetch Darrett and a couple other hands from around town, and you don't mind if I take the wagon, at least for now?
it was not our wagon, it was theirs, and we did what we could to repair it to get them here. So.
Right.
Pretty sure, by all rights, you own the wagon now?
Fair enough. Well, Darrett and a couple boys should be enough to haul this up to Thornwall, and I'll see that done. I do appreciate it.
Okay.
But for now, please, see that your rooms are taken care of. Enjoy Vogler. Aside from the somber events, it is a charming town, and the festival tomorrow has got everybody up and excited, so enjoy yourselves.
Yes, it did appear to be everyone in high spirits, so I may take a walk around town later. But for now, it may be nice to take off our pack and have a hot meal.
Sounds like a good plan. She smiles warmly. It has been a pleasure.
Indeed, we will definitely see you at the funeral.
She nods, giving a soft smile as she turns on her heel and departs, heading out the front door of the inn.
Thrag gives a very nervous
tavern.
salute. Thrag gives a very nervous salute.
All right. Now you will see that the innkeeper is still at the middle bar. She's been watching your exchange and motions you over to the counter with a friendly wave.
Yeah, I would definitely walk up there.
Well, I recognize the dust of the road anywhere, the innkeeper says.
Indeed, we have been traveling for some time here.
Yeah, the innkeeper addressing you as a bronze-skinned human, and she wears her hair in a tight, long braid that keeps her black hair all nice and collected, and it runs down to her waist at her back. She puts the mug that she's been polishing down and looks over the party. So, I assume none of you are local. I would recognize you, which means you're travelers, hence the dust.
They lost
Right.
smoking in here.
Well, of course.
Then I think Nimoy would be smoking if he saw others.
Yes, well, you have been traveling a long ways, I imagine. You are here for Ispin's funeral service, yes?
This is correct. And he'll give off everyone's names again as a introduction.
Ah, well, it's nice to meet all of you. I'm sure you've already been told by Becklin, but your rooms have been covered. And there's one for each of you.
Excellent. That is much appreciated. Would be nice to have a place to set down some things.
Yes, I imagine so. She points to the various hallways that span out of the Brass Crab's central space, like in a radial sort of array. Each hallway has doors on the left and right side and proceed about 20 feet down before ending with another door. She points to several of these doors and says, they're all marked and numbered, but... And she pulls a key ring out from under the desk. Let's see, this one for you, and you. I don't think I have a bed that's suited for you, she says, bringing a key over to Alafi. But,
most end up working out.
Fair enough. Well, if there's any additional arrangements that need to be made, do let me know. And then she hands the final key to Thrag.
When she was gonna hand me a key, I would have pushed it away. I do not need room.
Oh. Well, it is covered. Are you sure you don't want a room?
You give to someone else.
Well, I will do just that.
Are you sure about this, brother?
Nimoy, you cannot share a room with me.
I am not sleeping here.
Okay.
You do not sleep.
Not in place like this.
Well, is there anything I can get all of you while you are here? I imagine you must be parched from the road. Drinks, alcohol, food?
Anybody hungry? We can do a lunch.
It will take a draft.
I will
My
take
answer
the
to all three of her things is yes.
I will take the largest hunk of meat you have.
All right, well, feel free to sit yourselves down, and I'll get you your food and drink as soon as it's ready.
Nimoy makes sure his back is to a wall.
Yep, you would be able to find a table where that can be accomplished.
Here, we sit here. Scoots up to the wall.
Eldgren will come up to Nimoy and kind of give him a, one of the backhand on the shoulder things and say, "Loosen up, brother."
You know I do not like these kinds of places, Eldai. There is no loosen up.
Everybody seems nice here.
It's big enough.
Now, don't even close the gates here.
I do not sleep. I do not sleep a wall away from someone I do not know.
Well, it wouldn't be long before your food is delivered, fresh drinks laid before you, and you are able to enjoy. And you are able to enjoy a delicious meal. Most of the meat on the menu was fish, go figure. But you were able to find a couple pieces of game meat that was available. Thrag, you would be able to enjoy yourself with that.
He would eat like a deer leg, and as he's eating it, he slowly looks at Alafi, mortified.
He just gives you the that look, like you imagine her pointing her fingers at her the two fingers and then pointing at you thing, but she's not actually doing that. You just feel it.
He tries to chew slower.
Nimoy will sniff his drink, take a sip, whoosh it in his mouth, and spit it on the ground. And then think a minute, and then he'll continue to drink the draft. If everything checks out okay. And he'll take out a, because he didn't order food, he'll take out a bundle, like a blanket bundle, from his pack and set it down and unfold some traveling food and begin to eat that.
Nimoy, would you like some deer? Looks more.
Did you kill the deer?
No. He looks at him. No, I merely bought this deer.
So you did not kill it. You did not cook it. I want nothing of it.
No, I am not a chef. He looks ashamed.
Alafti, on the other hand, is ordering the specialties of the village and whatever the bartender thinks is their favorite drink here.
Alex, the power move here is to order a bigger deer. It just plops down. You look at him like wide-eyed.
Eldgren will definitely be having some kind of fish arrayed out, probably eating it with essentially like chopsticks, picking off bits of it.
If you ordered food, Eldquin, you could have shooed him away, but Nemo would try to get a little bit to taste test it before you get at it.
He'd pull off a hunk with the chopsticks and say, and like put it over on your little bundle of food, just as like a.
he would just take a piece off of it and scoot it back to you, chew, spit, say, "All right."
Not poisoned, if that's what you're checking for. It's bad for business.
Do you not trust taverns?
I do not trust people.
The tavern is not a person.
Yes, but it is surmised of many people. People I do not know. Someone I do not know killed that beast you are eating. Someone I do not know cooked it. Now you're eating it.
I had no responsibility in killing the deer. Some of my best friends are deer.
I would have more respect for you if you did, but you do what you do.
I could
kill a deer.
Don't worry about my brother. He is a pure woodsman. He is very proud.
I am safe.
Laffy is sort of trying to egg Thrag along a little bit on this like guilt trip thing. But...
no. Oh, wait. Thrag is losing his appetite.
You know that she is not deer, right?
She looks like deer. Wait.
And I look like bear, but I don't want to. I don't care if you eat bear.
He looks concerned. You are a bear.
Yes, I am bear.
Gotta roll an insight check.
Zrag, you are not as stupid. You are not.
And 8 intelligence.
You are still squire. You know I am not bear.
You could be a bear in disguise.
You are a grown adult man.
I was just turned to stone recently. I'm willing to believe anything.
All right, fair, but no, I am not bear. And she is not bear.
10 episodes later, the reveal that he's a werebear.
What is a Laffy? Is that a species I know?
Oh, she's just a centaur. I just decided to theme her.
Right. Would I know what a centaur is?
They're pretty common in this world.
Okay, then I would. She is centauri. Very different. Offensive, in fact, to compare the two.
To a bear?
No, a deer to centauri.
Oh.
They're not deer, they're not horse. They're people. Good people.
Yes.
I've met few in my life. Very good woodsmen.
Even a few myself. Not very often. My kind are quite intimidating.
Yes, just as you are not lion. You are Leonin.
I am a lion.
You are Leonin.
You're trying to confuse me again. I will continue to eat my food.
You have joyous, simple view on life. I don't hate.
Will you not have some venison?
I will eat what I killed and cooked myself. And I did not kill nor cook this bread. But it was made by someone I trusted.
Well, after our party has finished their meal, you would still have some time to explore town if you wished, or you can simply hang around the Brass Crab, relaxing and enjoying your free time until the service begins.
I may go look at these festival preparations if anyone would like to come with.
I'll come with.
That would be amusing, yes.
I will meet you here or later.
Alrighty.
Okay. So it sounds like most of the party is going together. Where is Nimoy off to? Or is he staying at the Crab?
I will go to the park I saw on way in.
Excellent.
Oh, before we go, I fill up my wineskin as much as I can from what I have remaining drinks, just so, in case.
Yeah. Fair enough. Now, stepping out of the Brass Crab, it would not be difficult to see that the road heading south leads to a very densely packed area full of stalls. Stalls that appear to be more permanent installations than the ones you saw being assembled throughout town on your way in. Definitely the market district you've heard a few people talking about as you were traveling through the streets.
Eltwin will lean over to Alafi and say, "This is one of the areas that you should be wary of people actually stealing your things."
Oh, we installed a strap last time.
Just be aware.
People will steal my belongings.
Usually markets are where those types like to hang out, but this seems like a nice enough town. I would not anticipate this.
Are you from a larger city?
Yes and no. I have spent my time around the Tower of Wayrith.
Oh, that's the Tower of the Mages.
Indeed.
Yes, I would imagine this is a small town in comparison to what you're used to.
I, Jacob, am not entirely sure.
I don't
how
know
big
either.
the Tower of Wayrith is, but sure. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of wander around and see if there's anything in the market that would catch his eye as far as like, I don't know, magical things, but not expecting anything.
Excellent. Yeah, traveling down the main road to the market, the road itself being well-laid cobblestone that, although is cleaned and upkept, definitely has the wear of centuries of charm to it. The market itself is a collection of, 10 to 20 local sort of shops. They are maintained and I almost said proprietarized. The individuals at the shops all appear to be locals and commoners selling a variety of different wares that would allow you to purchase just about anything your character would need from, common adventuring gear. Should you need to buy anything else for your characters while you're around. And while you're making your way through the market, you get this almost very quaint feeling to walking around. Everybody here is in a surprisingly good mood. You haven't really seen many people that appear to be dour or down in the dumps. Everyone here just seems to be enjoying their lives to the fullest. This festival perhaps has an infectious quality that just keeps everybody just low tier happy all the time. Now, in the market, it would be the denser part of town, and although you've had to shoulder your way through a few people, unlike other areas of Ansalon where you have felt the need to hold your belongings close, and that might even still be a trained feeling, you don't actually feel any kind of unease in these crowds. Everybody here just seems peaceable. Now, while you're in the markets, you will be able to see quite a few of the fishers' boats assembled at the wharf. Some people seem to be hauling fish in from the river. Others appear to be on their way out, perhaps for their evening attempt at catching fish. And you will see one individual, a older-looking man, marching along the docks with a large ledger in hand, talking to the individual captains as they're hauling fish. You do... Oh, go ahead.
Is that individual... He's like trying to inventory what kind of fish are coming in, that kind of thing?
It does appear, if you observe his activities, he's taking small, what could probably be fees from these individuals.
Okay.
Recording things in his book and exchanging coinage with the various fishers.
Sure.
Another individual you see following behind him, bearing a lot of similarities to the man, makes you think perhaps a son or family relative, is then exchanging coins again with those people. And his father looks back, sees the activity happening, runs over, takes the coins from the child, and then does the exchange with the person on the boat once again, to the laughter of both the boat captain and the kid. Although you're a little too far away to hear the reprimanding being wagged at him with this elder's finger, you get the feeling some tomfoolery is happening. Now, the rest of your visit to the market is relatively uneventful. Nothing particularly unique happens beyond just getting to experience Vogler's fishing charms in full display. The only notable shop you did see while you were walking around was one of a Kender woman who appears to be selling small little fishbone puppets of variety of sizes, from things you could puppet with your fingers to contraptions that you would need two hands to puppet. They're all intricately well assembled, and you see her entertaining no small amount of children with her pantomiming and puppetry skills, chasing kids around with a large barracuda-shaped bone assembly, much to the joy of the children.
How many kids are around there?
Let's see. Just rough head count, 7 or 8 kids.
Okay. Eld will probably go up to the shopkeeper and slip her 2 silver and say, "Give the kids what they need."
Oh. Are you sure, sir?
And then he would just walk away from that and try not to take any credit for it, but...
Alright, yeah, you'll take a step away, but you hear her handing out no small amount of toys, much to the cheering and adulation of the kids who are swarming around the stall. You hear some of them shouting, "Oh, I want that one!" Now, for our other part of the party, Nimoy, you made your way back up the main road towards the small
Yeah.
little wooded park by the river gate.
Is that park? Are there a lot of people there still? His goal is to get away from people.
There are some people, but the park is large enough that you would feel you could achieve a private space for yourself if you just sat yourself down or wandered about the park. No one is really swarming this area.
Okay, that's what Nimoy is looking for. He will take a breath of relief upon arriving, find one of those spots of solitude, lean his back up against a tree, continue smoking, and he will organize his pack, I think, in his own solitude. Probably pulling out some of his wood carving tools and making sure they're sharp.
Yeah. All right.
As little sound as possible.
Yeah, this would be at least the most solitude you could find in Vogler currently. The bustle of the streets and the festival energy is at least dampened somewhat by the trees around you. And although you do see the occasional father, mother, brother, daughter running around celebrating, you aren't disturbed by anyone, and you can enjoy the solitude while it's there.
It's
Or
good.
while you're there.
It's good that that's there, because Nimoy was considering just going right outside the town. And hanging out on these cliffs if he couldn't find some peace. Excellent. Yeah, he lowers his anxiety in the park.
Is this the type of festival that would have masks?
Ooh.
I imagine there would be, like, lots of fish and bird masks that celebrate the various fish they catch in the river or the birds that hunt alongside the coast.
How many Miyazaki kites?
No less than 30,
Okay, good.
especially along the wharf.
And lanterns?
It's a little early in the day for lanterns.
Okay,
but
we'll wait for
we'll
the
hold out
lanterns.
hope for
Okay,
those.
Yeah.
I also, I attempt to find a mask that is fitting for each person, and buy a mask for each of us, because it's a festival.
Yeah, you approach one of the stalls that is selling, or at least plans to sell masks, and when you inquire about purchasing some, the owner says, "Oh, you're going to have to wait for tomorrow. I'm just setting this up.
Okay.
The masks are for the festival, not before. You'll have to wait like everyone else."
Steal a mask!
I walk away disappointed.
Sad centaur face.
My ears droop.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that deserves its own persuasion.
Okay, all right. If you promise not to tell anyone you got them early.
You don't even have to roll, man.
Yeah.
The visual was enough.
Shows up to funeral wearing festival masks.
Iceman would love it.
Yeah, you're able to, with the help of the stall owner, pick a variety of masks you think would be fitting for your companions.
Okay. How much do I owe the stall owner?
He looks at you, with a frown over his face. You don't look to be local. So you're here for Ispin's lot, yeah?
Well, yeah.
They're on the house. Go,
Thank you.
take them.
Now I
Yes, he
have
was
to
a
add
good man.
custom item.
You knew
No.
it's been.
Well, it's hard not to find someone who's run-in with the man in Vogler. He lived here, after all. Spent quite a few evenings at the Brass Crab telling all manner of stories. My daughter loved to listen to him talk. on and on. She would fall asleep at the table listening to that man. He's going to be missed.
Indeed they will. I'll see you at the memorial later then.
Yes, I'll be stopping in to say my piece and wish the man off to the afterlife like everyone else. But, well, I guess I'm just... He thinks for a moment. I'm really going to miss his stories. I'll never tell my daughter, because I always make it like it's a annoyance, but...
Tell
I
me,
don't know who's going to be sharing stories in the Brass Crab anymore.
Tell me, do you know how he passed?
Well, I mean, he was getting on in years. I was told it was just old age.
That's what we were informed of as well. But,
Yes, he was good friends with Becklin. She's the knight in charge of Thornwall. You've probably seen her around.
indeed,
She's always in her armor. Yeah, I would ask her. I mean, I'm pretty sure she would know more than anyone else what happened to the man. But everybody in Vogler just assumed he passed away in his sleep, like we were told.
I do not believe there's a reason to think otherwise. Drag is just one of the type to look into every option.
Well, have no fear, Thrag. He enjoyed life up until the last night we saw him at the Crab.
Good.
But we will do him memories or do him well in his memories, and tell stories of our own of him tonight.
Ah, yes, I did hear that there was supposed to be some sort of grand retelling in the evening, so if you have any Ispin stories, you best practice. You're gonna have the competition of all of Vogler tonight.
Oh, well, I will have to think on my speech then.
Have no fear, friend. No one's going to expect anything, but the man loved to tell stories, and I think the plan is to send him off telling every single one of them we can think of.
Sounds like the type of thing he would have enjoyed.
Indeed. You've unlocked Ispin's stories. There is a chart that you can roll on for inspiration, but you've discovered that people are going to be sharing stories. You're welcome to invent your own, or you can use the chart for inspiration. And if you want to use it for inspiration, just let me know, and I can roll you a d6.
Go ahead and do that for me.
Or rather, you can roll me a d6. I don't know why I said I was going to.
I was gonna say. Here you go. 5.
Okay, so your story. Now let me actually see if this has a table. Because if it did... Ah, there we go. I can hopefully share that. Show visible results. Output chat. Oh, interesting. Can I get it to just output the result I want, or is it going to make me roll? I rolled a 5 anyway. Okay, there it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the story you got.
Okay. Whoa, I don't know what I did. I clicked and dragged the same thing into the same window, I think.
Oh, so now it's saying like your character said that.
Right.
Oh, kind of funny.
And for everyone here, actually, Jacob, you rolled it. Why don't you say it so that everybody can hear it?
Oh, the story itself?
At least the prompt. You can
Okay.
figure out the ending for it as we go along. You won't have to know it until you decide to share it later this evening.
One night, Ispin shared a campfire with a befuddled old man who disappeared before dawn, never to be seen again. Ispin always remembered the strange advice the traveler offered. ...
Ooh, nice. All right. Anybody else want to share a story this evening?
Sure.
Or want a prompt for that story, rather?
Yeah, I'll do a prompt.
All right.
You want me to roll
Now
a
I would
D6?
love it. Yeah. 1d6.
I got a 5, but I'll roll another.
Yeah, let's roll that again. All right. Let's see if I can maybe drag the text prompt like Jacob did. Did that show up?
I see that. Yes.
Yes, I see it.
Nice. That's even better.
Alright, I'm gonna roll a d4 because there's only 4 left. So I guess that would be the 6.
All right.
Nimoy won't be telling any stories. That would be a nightmare scenario for him to have to speak in front of a bunch of people he doesn't know.
Understandable. Excellent. Well, feel free to invent your own endings to these tall tales. Though Ispin would assure us all that they are completely real and factual. You can choose to share them later if you like. I will be awarding inspiration to anyone who can come up with particularly entertaining stories. Unlike my previous campaigns, inspiration, we're going to try and acquire that during a session rather than just having it gifted at the beginning every time.
What?
Now, that being said, we find ourselves at the market and in the park with some spare time. But if we want, we can always press the fast travel to Ispin's funeral service button. What would people like to do? There's some other notable locations you would have heard about, such as the Village Circle, which is going to be the center of the celebration tomorrow, the West Side House, which is a notable building in town, and the Fishbowl, which is a notable place that fishermen like to go to eat. Particularly good fish pies are to be had there.
Fish pies. I guess.
I am carving nice animal toys in the woods. This is what I'm doing.
I was just about to ask where your brother is, Elquin.
Imagine you presume back at the tavern where you left him.
He's either at the tavern or somewhere away from some people.
He seems not to like the company of others. It's interesting.
He trusts himself.
What time's the funeral?
The funeral takes place at dusk.
Do you know?
And
do we know what building?
Oh, it will be at the Brass Crab.
Oh, okay. That's
Is he gonna have a Viking funeral?
rather,
Because that'd
it'll
be
be-
amazing.
Oh, say again?
Is he gonna have a Viking funeral? Because
The details of that have eluded our party so far.
This building?
It'll be outside the Brass Crab, yeah.
This is the crab that I'm pointing at.
I would assume so. It is the crab-shaped building.
The one directly north of Wharf. Yeah.
Does it not have the text for all of you?
Nope.
No.
I see no text. I see wharf here, Vulgar's crossing here, and there's no text anywhere else. So that's probably on your GM layer.
It appears to be art, so I don't know. Maybe I shared the wrong map?
It is like... That could be the case, or... Yeah, that could probably be the case. Might be a GM map.
I'll note that the scale for this, if you use the pointers...
Oh, the
it's
scale is off, yeah.
Yeah, 5 feet is about 30 feet in this map.
I think Nimoy's gonna hang out in this park until dusk. And then he'll head to the crab.
And what of the rest of the party? Anything else you would like to do with your evening before the funeral?
Elkun probably just kind of walk around town a little bit, just take it in, and then end up back at the crab to wait out anything else. Or any other time that there's...
Absolutely fine. How about Thragon Laffy?
Laffy would probably be wandering around town trying the things that people say are good.
I think Thrag would go back to the inn, frantically trying to come up with a speech that he's convinced he has to give.
I love that.
Excellent.
Is Alafi getting those? What was it? What kind of pie? Fish pie?
Fish pies are delicious.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking about it, I'm certainly craving some fish pie. Sounds really good. Yeah, Laffy will go on a small food tour of Vogler, and despite the size of the town, there is no shortage of good food to be had, and people more than eager to sell it to you. Though... Oh, go ahead.
Just imagining Alafi sitting down at like a montage of like sitting at different tables. Like, I'll get the sampler. The sampler. Can I get the sampler?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And
Just getting absolutely smashed.
she is probably drinking a decent amount in the process too.
Too good.
Yeah, Laffy will enjoy the Vogler sampler, and there will be a few occasions where occasionally a proprietor or individual might notice that you're from out of town and inquire as to your travels. And if they ever find out that you are here for Ispen's funeral, more often than not it ended up with you getting a free meal or a drink purchased for you. And by the time you make it back to the Brass Crab, I imagine she may as well be dragging herself or rolling through the door with how much good food she's been able to scarf down before the sun begins to set.
Not in town very often.
And those don't come cheap, man. If they're free, that's like, I'll go to another one where they don't know me yet.
It's my birthday here.
It's my birthday. That's so fun.
Eldquin, you would have a very similar experience walking around town. You get the feeling that everybody here knows everyone, and the people who live here have lived here for generations. So anybody from outside town or new to the region is recognized almost immediately. More often than not, you'll be approached by various individuals asking after you, how your travels were, how the roads were, if you're here for the funeral, kind words shared about both Ispen, and occasionally people will recognize you from Ispen's stories and comment about adventures. More often than not, you've found yourself having to either describe or further expand on stories where you were much taller than you appear in real life.
Yeah, he would definitely welcome that and be happy to chat with people about it. Elquin is very personable with people, as contrasting with his brother.
Well, in that case, the people of Vogler would eagerly open up their arms to you, and by the time you get back to the Brass Crab, you would find yourself with a few extra possessions, as well as a fuller stomach than when you left the tavern. There's no shortage of kindness for the people here towards friends of Ispin. Thrag, while you're in the tavern panicking to think of a speech that you feel suitable toward your departed friend, you would find yourself approached by no small amount of children who are fascinated by your Leonin figure and your big, scary fangs. More often than not, they would do so much to the embarrassment of their parents. You would have a few moments with the child before they get pulled away with, various apologies. But more often than not, this would be an excuse for them to engage you themselves, recognizing you from Ispin's stories and asking you about your travels, what it's like traveling around Ansalam, what the various cities down south are like, what it's like to live in the Leonin tribes.
Yeah. I imagine. You ever seen a lion, like a big male lion on like the savannah, like little cubs like crawling on top of him? I think he's completely he's like okay with it. He's like, oh, hello, little child. I will tell you this. Like, do you have any tales from Uncle Ispin? So yes. I saw him slay many goblins that day, crashing their skulls against his shield.
Yeah, if you were even beginning to tell stories, you would shortly find yourself surrounded by children and their parents just enjoying almost the tribute to Ispin that would be you sharing your stories of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and at appropriate level of drunk, Laffy starts giving pony rides.
Oh god. Absolutely.
And to small children. And also it is playing with her spell focus and projecting star maps onto walls and things. But
oh, wonderful. But eventually these warm experiences would give way to the dimming of the sky as the sun sets in the distance, or at least begins to, and you are summoned to the funeral service for your departed friend, the event of the evening taking place on the wharfs outside the Brass Crab. When you get there, the scene around you, although a somber one, has this sort of celebratory somberness to it. Everyone here is wearing just respectful smiles, and those arrayed around you definitely are here to show their respects in a positive way. Although you do hear a couple sobs here and there, everyone is just here to see off a good friend. And the scene itself is one full of candles and lanterns and people holding various lights to keep the wharf illuminated. For you do see at the edge of the closest wharf to the Brass Crab a single solitary boat, one that has the corpse of your dear friend Ispin laid within it, dressed in a shawl. There are flowers and various belongings packed into the boat, and there are two individuals standing by it. Let me turn the page to this particular part of the story. Oh, I suppose I jumped the gun because there is a description here for this as well. You will see Becklin take the stage nearest to the boat, dressed in her armor, a somber expression on her face, as she begins to address the crowd. Those who are closest to Ispin Greenshield... Oh, whoops, that's not it. Those who are closest to Ispin Greenshield gather on the dock overlooking the Vingard River. There, Ispin's body rests in a small boat, his body wrapped in a shroud. A musician plays a soft song as the knight Becklin Uth Viharin steps forward in her ornate Solamnic armor. She smiles gently at those assembled, and her voice carries clearly across the water. You all knew Ispin as a friend, and there were none like him. Before he died, he told me this. There should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of them all. Becklin nods, and villagers carry the boat containing Ispin's body to the dock's edge, where she and Cudgel lower it into the water. So, let us do just that, Becklin continues as the tiny vessel drifts off into the Uthgard River. On the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, friend, until we meet again. And let me share this really wonderful picture.
Well,
And with that, you see the boat bearing Ispin's body gently drift down the river, out of sight. After a moment of silence, you hear Becklin address the crowd once more. Well, let us adjourn to the Brass Crab. There is a reception to go underway, and I expect to hear no small amount of Ispin's stories. She smiles and steps off the dock and towards the Brass Crab, a train of individuals following after her. It's funny that in the description it says Cudgel is standing next to her, because according to how they laid out the pacing, you haven't met Cudgel yet.
This is true.
So I just thought that was funny. As I was reading, I was like, wait, they don't know who that is.
They just removed
Indeed.
Cudgel from the adventure and forgot. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess so. It's like her picture slowly fades from the image. You don't know who I am. But when you return, or sorry, what would everybody like to do? Return to the Brass Crab, or is there anything you'd like to do on the dock in this moment as people are slowly shuffling into the tavern?
Elt would probably linger around the dock, watching the boat drift down the river for a bit, before he ventured back in.
It's burning.
No, it's just
No?
drifting. It does have a few candles on it, so you can kind of see it drifting into the distance, but the boat itself is not on fire.
I think Thrag would also watch it till it fades into the distance.
Nimoy showed up late when everybody was already there, and he left early before anybody turned to get there. He was there for that in-between part. So for anybody who was paying attention to the funeral, you probably didn't notice Nimoy even being there. It would be almost like he missed it.
Man after my own heart. When I'm at big gatherings,
Right? That's the
I
vibe.
am like, yeah, I am the first out of there because God forbid I'm not getting stuck in the parking lot.
Right.
I make a comment of, well, too bad your brother missed it.
Yes, he's not here. It's quite an emotion. It's beautiful.
I would guess he's here in his own way.
As a spirit?
No.
Oh. Well.
You have to depart to become a spirit. I'm guessing he's fine. You know what? Hold on a sec. And Elgin will cast message, pointing towards where the thing would be. I have no idea if he's in the range of it. And he'll say, "Brother, are you alive?"
Where are you pointing it? He's towards the towards the crab. Oh, is that where you're pointing it?
Yeah, yeah.
He says, "Unfortunately, yes, I am still alive."
He is fine, and it sounds like he's probably in town, so he may be solid.
How do you know this? Sorcery.
And
Yes.
the mildly intoxicated Laffy goes, "Magic," with the hands. And then starts stumbling towards the crab.
Thrag looks absolutely amazed.
Does the crab have a does it have multiple levels? Does it have a railing, like a second floor with a railing down to the middle floor? What's the crab look like? On the interior?
The crab itself it's a single-story building.
Okay.
That is more like a large circle for the main room, with several hallways, 4 of them, 2 on the left and 2 on the right side of it, that kind of extend outward from that circle, like how you would imagine rays of like sunlight are drawn.
Okay. Interesting.
And then from those, the rooms kind of span out from those hallways.
Being that I showed up...
this-
Oh, go ahead.
If looked at it from the top, it would make it look like those hallways are the legs of the
Okay.
crab.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Being that I left early, I imagine most people were at this funeral, so I would walk into the crab before anybody else and get the most secluded Aragorn spot that I can. I want that Aragorn spot. I shove
Yeah.
Aragorn out of the way. I go, my spot.
There are no Kendra coming.
No, you wrong town.
All right, you push the old man with the cloak out of the way. You hear him something grumble about a ring. And then, you've got the table to yourself.
I'm sorry. That visual is just funny. Yeah. Cool. Whatever
Now-
will keep me enclosed.
Sure thing. One of the tables near the back walls, but close to the window to the wharf, would probably be the easiest
Okay.
table to get isolated because people want to be in from outside.
That makes sense.
Now, everybody will begin funneling into the room, so it quickly becomes a rather noisy space for our poor boy Nimoy. Those of us still outside, waiting to see the boat vanish into the distance, the more perceptive of you, Elafi and Thrag, you will hear an individual chortling. Through just the edge of your eye, you can see a rather well-to-do looking lad in his younger years, amongst several other kids, or young adults rather. He's talking to them, but they're all looking out at the water. He very well may be speaking to himself, but what he says under his breath, you're able to pick up. What a stupid little ritual. What's to stop somebody from just finding the boat down the shore and looting it for all of his belongings? Frickin' fishers.
And Thrag hears this.
Just a Laffy and Thrag would be perceptive enough to hear him.
And how old is this person?
looks to be a younger human, probably 17 to 18 years old, wearing relatively fine garb. Clothing that would elevate him above the people you have seen thus far. At least a little bit fancier.
Thrag approaches the child.
Before Thrag can approach, I am talking. I start talking to my two companions and slightly louder than I need to, and talk about the time that Ispin Greenshield met the celestial being who promised he would keep all of his riches through the afterlife, and anyone stole from him, they would be cursed for all time. And you remember him telling you that story?
No, he never brought that up. What eldritch powers did my friend Ispin get himself into? Oh,
Many.
You hear the kid, ugh, and he turns on his heel and walks into the inn with several other people.
Who was that rude, small, feminine child?
Are you asking anyone in particular?
Yeah, in general.
Oh, well, one of the individuals currently filing into the tavern will hear you. A relatively portly looking human with a short capped brown beard and a bald head. What's who now?
That strange child with the very shiny clothes.
Oh, that one. The red doublet?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the younger. Bakaris the younger.
Bakaris the younger. And why does he mock Ispin so?
He's a bit of a cad. He and his father live here. Out of towners. They aren't Vogler people. But they got a lot of money. They bought the horseshoe. They kind of just live there and make a nuisance of themselves.
And why were they invited to the funeral?
Well, I don't know if he was invited, but to be frank, he motions around at the wharf. It's not exactly an enclosed space.
Oh, that's true.
But I will say, if I was given the choice, I certainly would invite Bakaris or his dad. They're fucking assholes. And here is our boy.
I will give him that one I will follow Ispin's way. I will give him one insult. Anything else? Well, I will follow what Ispin usually did. Swift kick in the ass.
I wouldn't take it too seriously. He's just a fucking kid. They always bite and yell above their station.
How old is he?
I don't know. Old enough to swing a sword. But not old enough to understand he's a fucking douche.
Well, I am only 15.
What?
Eldgren will kind of like look up with the confused.
He would look down. He is 5'8". He is not tall.
Or wait, yeah.
Are you presently holding alcohol?
I am an adult in my people's eyes, but I am only 16 years old. So technically, I could fight him.
16 is fine.
So technically, I could fight him.
Got a lot of muscles for someone who's apparently only Wait, you said 15 at first. Are you 15 or... I mean, doesn't really matter.
14.
I wish I had muscles that big when I was a young lad.
Yes, it took many hours of training, and running, and dancing.
Well, I suppose the reason why I don't look like you is because I'm about to spend many hours feasting, drinking, and cavorting in there. Have a good day, sir. And he steps away.
Good day. Though on a sidebar, I could legally get into a fight with this child.
Well, you're an adult for your species.
They don't know that.
They would know that. You're not an alien.
How do you know?
I do because I'm the DM.
I'm talking to the DM right now. What does that make me?
Insane, for anybody who listens to you anyway. Did you hear that? That guy was talking to the sky.
You're an
D&D character yells at clouds.
lightning bolt strikes him.
Well, is there anything else y'all would like to do while you're on the docks? Or would you like to join the celebrations inside the brass craft?
I would like to join the celebrations.
Yeah, I joined too.
Excellent. We can now switch our music to Tavern 1. I will get y'all the link. I had a funeral soundtrack and totally forgot to have it changed over, so that's my bad. But I guess you guys don't need me pulling at your heartstrings prematurely anyway.
Oh, if there is a spot where all the children are gathering to listen to stories, I sort of cozy up in the middle of it.
Will do. Yeah, as you step into the tavern, it would become pretty evident that there's no space here where a story isn't being loudly recited by one individual or another. Unfortunately for Nimoy, this is probably a nightmare scenario, but for everybody else, this is rather charming.
I will step outside.
No, sit and drink with us.
I think I'd be better outside. Lots of loud talking and many people. Perhaps I just get fresh air, I come back. He gets up.
Yeah, you will be able to get up, and thankfully enough, the railinged wharf stage that is outside would give you enough of a breather from the boisterous celebration. And because it's an open sort of archway to get from the stage to the tavern floor, you would still be able to be part of the celebration, but still kind of just aside it.
I like this. Wallflower, you get me. Man in sky, thank you.
No problem. Giant cloud high fives you. There you go.
Cha!
See, that's the sort of thing that
Cannon.
would protect the boat.
Don't you see that? That guy just high fived Zeus.
I don't want that kind of attention.
The gods are back. All right. Anyways, so you step into the inn as our boy here is making his way out onto the wharf, and you hear Becklin begin to address the crowd. She says, "Now, one of Ispin's last wishes he addressed to me was that on the night of his funeral we spend our time sharing our favorites of his stories. I know everybody has at least one, and hopefully, after we've all had our piece sharing this wonderful man's journeys through, God knows where he ended up these days. Oh, Ansalam's way too large. Anyways, we will hear them all before the end of the night. A wonderful send-off to a good friend. But let me be the first." And she begins to tell a story, a rather flowery one, about, apparently, the high sub-senior artillerist of Mount Nevermind launching her pet weasel all the way from the gnomish enclave in Sancrest Isles. Oh, sorry, from Mount Nevermind to the Sancrest Isles. And then hiring Ispin to recover the critter, or at least to note its trajectory. She begins to tell several other stories which summon equal amounts of jovial laughter and celebratory hurrahs before another individual stands up and begins to recite their own story. Would anybody like to share one of their stories during this time?
Elquin would.
Yeah, there would be a point after one of the stories where there's just enough of a gap where you feel comfortable to stand up and share.
So Elquin will walk up to the stage and say, "For those of you that don't know me, my name is Eldquin. I know a much younger version of Eastbin. He helped me get from my family home to the Tower of Wayreth. On his journey, he would tell me many of these stories that I have heard tonight. And I will tell one of his favorites. One night, Eastbin, while upon the road, came across a befuddled old man. As was his nature, he assisted the man. With the intent to find his home in the morning, he made camp for them. And over stew at the campfire, the man had a moment of lucidity and shared the advice that if you always follow the left wall, you'll eventually make it through the maze. Though there will maybe twists and turns, you may end up where you've been before, you will always make it to the end. He's been laughed it off little more than ravings of an old man, and they went to sleep. And when awaking the next morning, the old man was gone. Not a track to be found leaving the camp. He thought nothing of it until nigh a week later he found himself trapped in a forest maze guarded by an angry minotaur. He ran by chance, panicking to the left, and then remembered the words of the old man. He followed the left wall, and he eventually came to the other end of the maze. The minotaur, baffled by his skill at navigating his maze, stated that escaping him would be the final test. But also was curious, and he asked him how he became so good at completing mazes. Eastbin looked to the minotaur and said, "I did nothing complicated. I just made some stew." The minotaur stood there dumbfounded at his answer, and he was able to run away and escape, completing the last trial and being teleported away from the maze's grasp. Elquin will take a second and say, "This was my favorite, but also a practical example. Following the left side will always get you out of a maze. And I will never forget that one."
Yeah,
And,
as you... Oh, go ahead.
But he'll kind of look like he's remembering things for a second and then start walking away.
Yeah. As you turn to leave, you hear the sound of clapping as several individuals start a wave of applause, and an individual throws his mug into the air and says, "I've heard that one!" to a chorus of individuals going, "Ah! Hey, the maze, the maze, the maze." And then another individual steps up and he says, "I heard the Minotaur maze too." And then he begins to share the story, but with some slight alterations. Something about a pit trap and a harpy's feather. Whether or not these were his particular inspirations to the story or Ispin's own, it has a certain charm that doesn't quite stand up to Eldquin's tale. And although it does get a sort of minor applause, the jovial air about both of these stories is shared by all, and you sit down feeling warmer for the experience. A warmth that you will carry into your further trials, known as an inspiration point.
Nice.
Now, several other stories are told, but some of us won't be able to enjoy them as much as they would like. Thrag, you hear a voice, a familiar voice, a sarcastic voice. After a tale is told, you hear an exaggerated I swear I've heard so many of these piss poor tales. Although not heard by all, you can hear the voice of Baccharis the Younger, already halfway through an ale. He scowls in disdain as another individual takes the stage and begins to tell a story.
You don't approve.
He's a couple tables away. Your hearing allowed you to pick him out of the crowd, but you would have to shout in order for him to hear you.
I glare at him. In fact, I glare at him so much, I'm going to try to roll an intimidation.
All right, yeah, give me that intimidation check.
Yeah. I do not have intimidation. I do have intimidation, but I do not have inspiration. What's my intimidation? That's a +3. That is a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
You know, like in real life, like when you'd be outside in the wilderness and you'd really see a lion just looking at you, like unblinking, unmoving, like that kind of like animal dominance, like you're gonna look away before me kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally pick up that energy. And a couple more stories will be told by various villagers and people of Vogler, all of which will get some sort of sarcastic response from Baccharis, until finally he says out loud, so that several people around him hear, says, "Come on, we've heard this 1,000 times. You're telling it worse than the last guy did." He slams his ale down, spilling drink over the table, and he exaggeratedly looks around, sneering, until his eyes meet yours. And then you see his sneer just get sucked up into his face, and his eyes widen as he just sees you just stone-facedly staring at him. He looks away as if pretending he didn't see you, but then looks back after he thought maybe you looked away, but there you were, staring. He takes a sip, and then he wipes his mouth, and he says nothing for the rest of the night.
Nice.
Now,
Good.
during the celebrations, would anybody like to share their story? I know Thrag had one. Laffy had one too.
Laffy can go.
Okay.
I already defended. I already intimidated the poor man. So.
Okay. I'm well, the Laffy, she is deciding to gather up as many children as she can to tell her story to, because it's more fun to tell the children. That's something it's been taught her. So. But she tells them the story of the time that Ispin saved an entire village from ogres. This village was far, far away in a distant land. The village had very strong walls, but in an earlier attack, the ogres were able to damage the gate, so they couldn't quite close the gate. And Ispin, using just his shield, stood in the gap and blocked the gate and held back wave upon wave of ogre and their slaves for 3 days. Actually, I don't want to do that because yours had a 3-day. For through all the day and the night until finally the mages were able to come and help to relieve. It's been. Luckily, the magic of his shield kept him and everyone behind him safe.
You'll see the eyes of the children just locked on you in awe, hearing about these massive ogres trying to push them and their slaves through, but Ispin being able to hold the gap and delay for these mages to show up, and it just enraptures them. You see that most of the part of the inn where you are has turned their attention towards your dramatical retelling of this crazy village siege, and you'll hear several people go, "Whoa, I never heard that one before. An ogre. That tiny little Ispin holding back an ogre. Oh."
Many ogres.
Yeah, and you will enrapture more than a few people to the applause and adulation of those who get to hear your story, filling you with that warmth that will serve you in the days to come. Please take an inspiration point.
I forget where those go on the sheet.
In the main one, there's a little dot in the top right.
Nice.
INSP.
Deep.
Now, as the night is continuing onward, our wallflower, you will notice someone else of a similar disposition. An individual who keeps herself at least part of the celebration, but aside. An elven woman. Her hair is braided simply, but with a few intricate pieces of jewelry that glimmer softly in the candlelight. She looks towards the crowd with a sweet and somber expression. She seems to be just enjoying the pleasantness of the celebration and more just, I guess, enjoying the evening, much like yourself, or at least how you appear to be enjoying it.
They will enjoy the silence with her.
Yeah. 2 wallflowers. Enjoying Ispin's, I guess, reception would probably be the better word for the event here.
True.
Now, Thrag, did you want to share one of your stories?
I did.
Yeah, there would be a point during the celebration where you would find the opportunity.
And I think probably as someone stepping down and mentioning Jacob's or Eldquin's mention of a maze. Speaking of mazes, this reminds me of the time when Ispin mentioned that for 3 days and 3 nights, a trireme crewed by Minotaur pirates had been chasing him all around the sea of the blood sea of Istar. They would not give up the relentless pursuit. It seemed like our poor Ispin was doomed to be captured, but at the last moment he had an epiphany. He knew these waters well enough to know where a great sea serpent lie, and managed to trick the pirates into sailing directly into the serpent's mouth. Oh man, long story short, they were swallowed, eaten alive. Some say they are still trapped inside the labyrinth, the bestial labyrinth of the serpent's stomach. trying to navigate out of it as we speak.
Oh, you hear several voices gasping and awing at the wonder of being stuck inside of a beast's gullet for, God forbid, the rest of their days. And you would be greeted with applause, several individuals shouting out, "Best one yet!" And yeah, the experience of sharing Ispin's stories and being able to share your memory of him with these people fills you with a warmth that will aid you in the days to come, a warmth of inspiration.
I'm totally activating. It's a little star you can activate on your little character sheet.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, and as you sit down back at your table, the three of you sharing one, a individual you recognize from the wharf will sit down with a heavy clamor and a heavy tankard of ale that is already about 3/4 finished. This individual is a stocky dwarven woman with dark bronze skin and even darker hair. She was the individual sharing the dock with Becklin during Ispin's funeral. Well, I'm sure you've heard this line already, but I recognize all of you from Ispin's stories. It's a pleasure to meet you, at least in the flesh. My name is... Oh no, I'm on the wrong page. My name is Redomer, or Cudgel. I'm an adventuring partner of Ispin's. The three of us with Becklin, we wandered all around, making many of these stories as a group. But it really is nice to meet all of you and to hear your stories. I tell you what, I come here because these people are all wonderful and charming, but they're not very world-weary. They're not used to the roads. Much unlike the rest of you. I find we're cut from a similar cloth.
Well, you are welcome at our table. Any friend of Ispin must be a friend of mine.
It's good to hear it. If you have an ale or some kind of drink, she will hold hers out to clink.
Yeah, he'll do the clink.
Or clunk, depending on the weight of your drinking accoutrement. But she will smile.
I'm to the clink level of...
Yeah, you were pre-gaming long before this whole thing started.
Laffy's got 2 drinks and just keeps clinking for herself and drinking. It's like, yay.
Her name is Redolmer?
Ridomir. Ridomir. Nickname Cudgel.
Huh. So Redomir, where are you from originally?
My family hails from Kaolin, south of Solemnia.
Huh.
Hill Dwarves is the more common name. I don't really identify much with the old cousins of the mountain anymore. I've been traveling far too long for that. But, after I parted ways with Ispin, I got into the mercenary work. And I have my own little band of mercenaries camped outside town. I'm the commander.
I see. Becklin, I think, mentioned this. It is good to have you nearby. We had a little bit of trouble on the road here, but hopefully with your mercenary company's presence, it's get away anymore of them.
Yeah, no one's going to start any trouble with the Ironclad Regiment around. This town's never going to be safer. Raven's been having us train some of the militia for fun, so that's been entertaining. And we're
Raven?
supposed to be... Oh, Raven. She's the mayor of town. You haven't met her yet.
Actually, no.
Possibly.
It's a small town. You'll probably meet her, well, soon enough. She loves to fish, so if you ever wanted to meet the mayor, it'll be tomorrow during the fishing competition.
Ah, I'll have to look out.
She's a tried hand, though. Don't expect entering that with a chance to win if you see her lined up with the competitors.
I don't expect to win in that kind of competition. I am not a fisher myself, but my brother maybe. He'll kind of wave off in the direction where Nimoy is kind of hanging out.
Nimoy will wave the same wave. Like a shoe wave.
Your friend looks like he's well, hopefully enjoying himself, huh? Alright, so you said brother.
Aye, as best I can with or he's probably enjoying himself the best he can with all these people present. He is not the in-town sort of person. Very woodsman.
You know, I think I understand that. I enjoy my men and the company they keep, but when it comes to strangers in the town, the Vogler is a rare exception. The people here are surprisingly warm.
I think that just triggers more suspicion from my brother.
It was like that for me too for many years, but it's been insisted that I lighten up, and over time, they were able to wear down this old stone.
I could see that. I have only spent the better part of a day here, and I can already see the warmth.
Yeah,
People here are really nice.
Yes, I think that just comes from the particular circumstances of this place. It's got a storied background, the knights respect it and guard it, and they haven't really had to struggle, not like the rest of the world. And everybody that lives here just continues to do so. Deep roots, I believe, is what some would say.
Well, let's pray that the rest of the world can keep it that way.
Yeah, and the world seems like a distant thing. All of it strung out on the other side of the Vanguard the way it is. But we'll see how they handle themselves tomorrow. Going to be putting on quite the good show. There's a reenactment that is going to be taking place at the apex of the festival.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a local reenactment of Sir Vogler and his stand against the Astarian forces from back before the Cataclysm. I believe Raven and her kind are going to be the local Vogler militia, or they are the Vogler militia. They will be representing the Solnarian Knights. Me and my kind, we're going to be the Astarian scoundrel invaders.
I see. And do you take part in this reenactment often?
Well, it's a regular event in Vogler, but me and my company were just in the area, which saved me quite a bit of travel time, because I would not have missed this funeral for anything.
So, sounds like we're going to see a very good reenactment, compared to previous years, potentially.
Well, I'm certainly going to put them through their numbers. We've been training them for weeks, so if they don't hold their own out there, they're going to look really silly. It would be kind of weird for the invading forces, which are supposed to lose, have to back away from battered and bruised militia. Gotta make it look convincing, you know?
Aye, indeed.
As much as I'd love to talk your ear off, I should probably get back to the Ironclad. They're pretty much lost without me. But it has been a pleasure. Believe it, Eldquin, right? That was your name from the story.
Indeed. Eldquin Threat.
Well, it's been good to meet you. And Elafi and Thrag, yes?
Yes.
There's sort of a thumbs up from a mostly collapsed onto the table.
If I could only be as deep as my cups as you are, my dear. Maybe after the reenactment tomorrow, I'll be able to get to relax and really drown my cups. And she stands up and steps away from the table. Do enjoy yourselves, and don't miss the reenactment tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun, and at least me and my men are going to make sure it's eventful. Give the villagers of Fogler something to be excited about for the next year.
Well, I will make sure to be there.
She smiles, downs the rest of her ale, and gives you a playful salute with the empty cup and walks away.
Alright.
Now, the rest of the evening, although most stay a very long time enjoying the celebration and, well, also the food, eventually, slowly, people begin to trickle out of the tavern until there's just a few holdouts left. The new state of the tavern, much quieter and friendlier to some of us, would see our players just enjoying the quiet quaintness. And that is when we would be approached once more by Becklin. If you would like Nimoy to...
If the place, like, if people leave, he will approach the table with his brother and Alafi and Thrag.
Yeah, at this point, there's probably only 3 or 4 tables that even have people there. And certainly the keeper is very busy trying to manage the stacks upon stacks of plates that have piled up throughout the night.
Nimoy doesn't sit, though. He just approaches and is standing nearby.
Alright. And that is when our party would be approached once again by Becklin, who, rosy-cheeked from drinking throughout the night, gives a courteous nod to all of you. She says, well, I certainly enjoyed hearing your retellings of the story this evening. It has been a pleasure getting to hear them retold. I've heard most of them 1,500 times, but it's always a treat. Especially from new tellers.
Yes, we will have to keep that tradition going to honor him.
Yeah, she smiles sweetly and motions to the town behind the brass crab on the other side of the tavern walls. Well, tomorrow there'll be the Kingfisher Festival, so hopefully you've at least given yourselves time to stay for that. It's going to be a marvelous celebration. But at the very least, she turns back toward the table. I do have something for you from Ispin. He said it was to be given to you. So, tomorrow, please, call upon me at Thornwall Keep. Preferably in the morning before the celebration kicks off. I would like to give you this final gift myself.
Okay, I will make a point of it.
She smiles and nods curtly. I am off to Thornwall myself. I have had altogether way too much to drink, and am in need of a soft bed. I wish you all pleasant dreams.
You as well.
And then she walks off, though you do see a little bit of a sway to her step as she dips out of the brass crab.
And far too late. Laffy makes a joke. Well, not Elquin here. He's an old storyteller. But far too late.
Yeah, way off. That's what she said.
And she's gone. Oh, okay.
But now your party has the floor, so to speak. The inn itself is relatively abandoned, except for the few individuals left. The elven woman you spied, Nimoy, is also still just relaxing by the wall near the wharf exit. And yeah, nothing eventful will take place for the rest of the evening. You can engage with it how you will before deciding to sleep for the night.
Nimoy would turn to Eld. You're staying here for festival?
Yes, I intend to stay at least the day tomorrow. Maybe take off after.
I'd hope to get on road tonight, but if you are going to stay, I will not leave my kid brother behind.
Hardly a kid anymore, but I get your point. I
Always
would like
kid
to
in
spend
my
a
eye.
little bit of time traveling together would be nice.
This I agree with. I will stay. Cannot promise I will engage, but will be here.
That is perfectly okay.
She say I spin leave or something?
Yes, we're to go to the keep in the morning to get whatever this final gift was from his.
The better be gold, he owes me.
Maybe. But we'll see what tomorrow holds.
Alright, you sleep in here?
I will be.
And what of you two? Well, I know where you're sleeping. Drag?
I will be staying here. The room was provided. Plus, I do not have much money.
Then I will see you all in the morning. I will sleep elsewhere.
This was a good day for Iston. Good day of remembrance. It's a pleasure to experience it all with you all.
Same to you, Drake.
Though that little child definitely grated on my nerves.
Made that apparent with that glare you gave him, and I'm happy for it. It's nice to have the rest of the night without his
I will
yammer.
I agree. Glare was sufficient enough. I was worried that the more he would talk and the more liquor was in everyone else's gullets, fists would be thrown.
I will agree. I have not seen so many younglings in one village in some time. There are usually not as many children. It is like this place never saw war.
Well, that is what my friend Kajal, I believe, was Ridormir, I think, was saying as well. She is the leader of the mercenary company. Used to travel with Ispin and Becklin.
I've heard this story.
Yeah, she said something about
Hey,
this place having never seen any kind of strife.
It is evident. Perhaps that is why I'm not comfortable. These people seem far too warm.
Yeah.
It is a cold world.
in truth, as much as I train and prepare for war, I know very little of it. I was trained by the knights to become up to be a squire. I fought with Istin against the goblins. Few minor bandit incursions, but nothing insane. Have you known war in your time?
Well, I have not known war, but I have fought. Plenty of times. There's more danger than just our fellow man.
That is true.
It is a dangerous place.
You've no doubt fought many beasts.
More than I like to remember.
I feel the opposite way with this place. It is nice. It's nice to know a place that does not know suffering or pain. The taste of a blade.
Guess it is hard for me to take seriously then. It is a fantasy.
Well, maybe this is why he's been finally settled down here.
He did love his stories. He would want to live in a storybook. Well, before the night grows far too late, I think I should find a place to sleep. I will be outside of the town, not far. I will return in the morning.
Sounds good.
Agreed. Well, sleep well. Try not to travel too far out.
I will not
You
be
are
far.
within about 120 feet. I can find you, but
I will be half mile up the road.
okay.
But I will leave you all here then, since the hour does grow late. But I have some quick business.
Hey,
And he's gonna saunter over to the elf.
All right. Yeah, she is staring off into space, kind of just directing her gaze over the middle of the space of the inn. She wears respectably fine clothing. The only thing that really stands out about her garb is the jewelry adorning her hair. Her complexion is very fine, though her skin does take on an odd shade of blue. Unusual for an elf.
Good evening. Do you have light? I seem to misplace mine. He holds his pipe out.
Oh. I believe I may. She looks towards her side and says, well, I guess I forgot my satchel at home.
Is no
I'm
problem.
sorry.
The intent of hospitality is appreciated nonetheless. Thank you. He goes a step away, but he only steps a few steps before turning around. May I ask you a question?
She tilts her head and looks at you with a small raise of an eyebrow. You may.
Did you, know the deceased? I'm sure you did if you're from here.
Yeah, she lets out a slow sigh. I did. He was a good man.
Did he was.
Did you ask her if she was around here or from around
Yeah.
here? No, I have traveled.
As
She
many of us
stares
have.
off.
I too traveled. I imagine you are road weary as any of us. You have place to
Yes.
sleep tonight?
She smiles. I do.
It is good. Alright.
Yeah, although she does appear to have a friendly disposition, she just doesn't seem to be entirely there.
Yeah. He'll say something to the bartender. Just make sure that she find the room okay. And don't worry about that one. He points to Laffy under the table.
Oh, yes. I mean, she does have a room. I'll make sure she gets there fine. Sweet of you to ask, though. You sure your friend won't need help, though? She looks towards a Laffy.
She is fine.
Eldgren might be trying to help her up, if that's a thing.
He'll point to Laffy, says, She knows exactly where she is. Her? Looking over to the elf. She looks lost.
Well, I mean, she's seemed to be having that disposition since she got here. I think, Lee something? Lee Dara. That's her name.
I did
She
not
came
ask
in,
for her name.
No. Alright. Fair enough.
Nimoy rudely says. He goes, Alright, well. You bartender, do your job. And he turns.
Right. And she goes back to cleaning dishes.
And he will turn to leave. Nimoy's pretty rude. He's an 8 charisma boy.
Hey, gotta play to your, well, strengths and also unstrengths.
I did not ask for a name. Oh, okay. That's so funny. What was her name, by the way, so I can write it down?
Lee Dara.
Lee Dara.
Leedara.
Okay. Mysterious elf. Nimoy will give a salute to Eld as he steps out.
He'll do that back.
Alright, yeah. The warmth of the inn quickly fades to the cool of the night and the quiet of the relatively empty city streets. You do see a couple people occasionally wandering the streets in various stages of drunken stupors, but most have retired to their homes, casting the cold night streets in warm candlelight from the various windows. Everyone seems to be eagerly awaiting slumber for the coming of the festivities tomorrow. And what of the rest of our party? Are we off to sleep?
Well,
Also in various stages of drunken stupor?
Well, do we... by the way, you would notice... Elquin, Thrag is not drunk. He is not drank this entire time. He's enjoyed the festivities. He's made a pig out of himself.
Touch the devil's water.
He would tell you it's unbecoming of a squire to be so inebriated. But what was I gonna say? Crap, I got so invested in the fact that he's not drinking. He would ask you, maybe we should help our poor friend here get to her room. How do we put her on a bed?
Think if we can wake her up, carry her there, she can take care of the rest.
Great.
How much does a Luffy weigh?
Not very much.
Is there a centaur
like-
weight? Oh, you're smaller. That's right.
I'm a modern. The centaur characters are medium, so I'm
2 curled hands.
All right, you pick up that end. I'll pick up this.
She also, as you're helping her to her bedroom, in like a super loud stage whisper, goes, "I got us masks for tomorrow, but it's a secret. Not supposed to get them till tomorrow."
Okay. Well, we will get them tomorrow.
Good to know.
That way.
Excellent. So yeah, we are able to successfully extract Alafi from the tavern floor to her room, and then everybody else will be able to retire to their own chambers with Nimoy being able to walk out of the river gate and up the high hill road until he's comfortable enough to find some place to camp.
Half mile up the road, half mile to the east.
Yeah. Half mile up the road, you would be able to see the distant campfires that Cudgel mentioned were the band of the
Mercenaries?
the mercenaries, the Ironclad. Yeah.
He'll see those campfires and he'll turn to the west. He'll go a half mile to the west.
All right. Now, well away from everyone, you are able to find a calming place to sleep. And that is where our party will say goodbye to Ispin, a beloved friend, and hello to the next day, the day of the Kingfisher Festival.
Got new music for this, or...?
I do have new music for this. It will be Village 2.
Got it.
I'll grab that for everybody else. All right. So, our characters will be able to wake up and hopefully pray away whatever hangovers they may or may not be suffering from.
Oh, poor Laffy. Oh, no.
And
She's surprisingly chipper when you see her out in the...
That's great. Expecting like a bag of ice on her head.
yeah, I imagine the keeper would even like cast a Laffy a look like you can walk.
How are
It's
you,
weird to be
okay?
disabled.
This is
How are
not
you
the
in the
first
sun?
town that this has happened in.
But our players will be able to enjoy a peaceful breakfast if they so choose, or if you'd like to head out early so you have time before the festival to get to Thornwall Keep and back, that is also an option.
Yeah, that'd probably be what Elkman would push for, is trying to get out there early so he can make it back for at least the reenactment portion of the festival.
Makes sense.
All right. So,
Yeah, Thrag would go with you.
our party will head out of the Brass Crab. Now, Nimoy, you
Yes.
said you were going to meet up with the party. Are you going to meet them in town, or are you going to head to Thornwall?
Nimoy would probably have met them in town. I think he woke up fairly early, the woodsman that he is. He has a few dead hares that he killed this morning that are probably drying out on his pack. And I think he's waiting for them in the dead center of town. Unless there's a lot of people there prepping the festival. He will meet them on the road.
I imagine you'd meet us in that be hiding in one of these like park areas near the keep,
Yeah,
because you know we have to pass those.
I'll just step out when I see y'all. There you are. Good. We going to keep?
Indeed. I trust you slept well?
I slept fine. I'll be making stew later if anyone wants any.
Points to the hares.
Well, keep what you need, and I might have a bite. We'll see.
Better than what you eat in the tavern, I guarantee.
Depends on how much you inherited from mother with the Fern family cooking.
You'll be happy just to know that I cooked it, and you can trust me. Alright, we go to big stone building now.
Indeed.
Yeah, it would be a quick, 5 to 10 minute walk outside of town. And
Wait, before we get there, I want everyone to speculate on what they think it is. I say gold.
I don't know if it's a collective thing, like all of us get something. or
They
if it's-
guess, they guess.
It's knowing him. It's probably something cryptic.
Could be one item to set us on some kind of quest.
Knowing him, it's probably something that he thought was magical, but it isn't.
I like all these ideas. Spark my imagination. I like.
And just as our party is sharing these ideas as to what this mysterious gift could be, they see someone walking down the path from Thornwall towards them. A young man dressed in relatively nice clothing, younger in his years, with raven black hair and tan skin complexion. He smiles as he approaches your party coming down the road. Well, good morning, Becklin's friends. I'm glad I caught you. He has a sword on his hip and a cloth sack over his arm. I'm Derek, Becklin's student. I hope you haven't had breakfast already. I'm on my way to go pick up some fish pies for, well, all of you and Becklin and myself.
What did he say his name was?
Derek.
Derek.
Okay.
If he says that, Nemo will go, "No pie for me, thank you."
I will take one. That sounds wonderful. I appreciate it.
It sounds
Really?
delicious.
They are. They're pretty good.
Yes, and they
I
are
had the same
particularly
point.
good. They are particularly good first thing in the morning.
Ah, fresh. I see. Was there something that you needed from us other than a pie or no pie?
I don't really need anything, but you're welcome to accompany me if you like. I'm going to grab us all food, and then we can head back to Thornwall together.
Could do that. Help you carry some.
Yes, that sounds great.
We are helping this boy fish.
No, we're going to get some fish pies.
So you're going to fish.
No, we're
No.
going to the fishbowl to pick up some pies.
They are going to get the pies already made, Nimoy. Pies.
Don't worry. I tested all of the places in town for poison yesterday.
I bet you did, and you ended up on the table. I guess I go.
Alright.
Derek, you are a student? Are you a squire of the knights?
He looks around when you say squire, and he takes a step forward and says slightly lower, it's like, okay, yes, I did say student. Technically, I would say I'm a squire, but the people of Vogler, they're kind of set in their ways, and people don't really like Solamnic Knights. The orders don't really have a great reputation, so it's just easier to say I'm a student.
Ah, that is fair.
And they
Sure,
kind
you're a
of,
very talented apprentice.
I'm trying to be. Becklin is an amazing teacher, and I've been studying hard to make her proud. In fact, he looks at you, Thrag. He says, "You? Oh my! You're already a squire."
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh wow! It is. You are the first of the order I've been able to meet, aside from Becklin.
Oh.
Did you? How did you? How have you fared?
I have survived. The training my father gave me as a boy at the age of 8 proved useful in my training with the knights.
Wow, I bet. I was born in Vogler. This conversation is absolutely happening on your way to go pick up pies. I was born in Vogler, so not a whole lot of, martial experience to be had around here, unless you count fishing to be a martial struggle. But Becklin has been teaching me a lot about what she's learned in her order. I think that's so cool that you've been all over. Wow. Do you Do you actually use that thing? He says, pointing to your axe.
My tail? No.
No, he pointed to your axe.
Oh.
No. Wait, can you use your tail?
No.
Like, is that a weapon?
It's primarily for balance and to play with when I'm bored.
You know, I've often wondered if that would actually be entertaining to do.
It is.
Well, consider me jealous.
But the axe, yes, was my father's. Passed down to me at the moment of his death.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. I don't think I could ever wield something that heavy proficiently enough for a squire, but...
How big is this guy?
Well, you can't really pin an exact age, but he's definitely in the late teens.
We're the same age. We are not that far from we are very similar in age. Here, he unsheathes his great axe. Here, try to hold it.
Yeah, he'll reach out and try and hold it. Like, oh, this thing is definitely as heavy as I thought it was. But all right, I can see what you mean.
It's far easier than you would think. It takes practice. Anything can be learned with proper practice.
Yeah, I imagine it's got to be as much about mastering momentum as it is about just strength. And he'll hand it back to you. And he'll pat the sword at his head. He's like, I've been training with this, and I think I'm far more comfortable with it. But that is quite the feat to be able to wield that in combat.
Well, if your master approves, I can teach you some of my techniques. But you do not have a tail. Therefore, much of what I have to teach you will be useless.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but I'll definitely be focusing on my training with Becklin. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for the reenactment later. It's no real battle, but it'll be fun to experience what it's like to actually be in, such a state, to be surrounded by people like that.
It's not the same.
No. In reality, it is glorious and filled with blood. But it's also terrifying.
Oh, well... Yeah, I imagine that must be true. I've only ever sparred myself. I hope that once I graduate and Becklin thinks I'm worthy of it, I can go to one of the order holds and try my hand, I guess, at being a squire.
It is my hope that you succeed.
Well, I will eventually, and it'll just take time and effort, but I know what I want, and I'll get there. Becklin is a wonderful teacher, and I'm lucky to have her, so with her guidance, it should be easy enough. But eventually you do make it to the fishbowl, and he buys all of you fish pies, save for Nimoy, who he looks like he's going to buy you one, makes an exaggerated look like, I'll do it!
I'll take your money.
You know what? I mean, it was supposed to be for you. It would feel wrong not to give you something, so he gives you the coinage he was going to use to buy it. So you can take 10 copper pieces.
Thank you.
Or 1 silver.
He goes to the counter and he slams it on the counter and he goes, donation, fish better.
Hey, good morning to you too, buddy.
Nimoy, I'd like to see you make a fish pie.
That sounds disgusting. Fish are not meant to be in pie.
What kind of pies can you make?
I don't make pie. I don't have
Why not?
oven.
You don't need an oven. A true warrior of the land will improvise.
A true warrior of the land would not waste time making pie.
That is exactly what a warrior of the land would do.
Perhaps of your land, Zach.
People are from different lands.
There will come a time when you will need a pie.
I cannot imagine one moment where I would need pie.
All right, pause. There's going to be a fucking moment in this fucking campaign. I'm fucking calling it right now.
Quick! Pass me the pie!
You don't need pie!
Why would you possibly need pie? Any kind of food will do.
That's funny.
Well, armed with our freshly baked fish pies, our adventurers will be able to make their way back up the city to Thornwall Keep. All the while, Darrett will entertain you with stories of Vogler and express earnest interest in just hearing about your adventures and where you've been and what kind of scrapes you've been into. He's definitely got the air of a country boy who dreams for things that are bigger than himself. And whenever discussion of the orders or Solamnia comes up, he regards it with this wide-eyed childish enthusiasm. But eventually, you do make it up the ascent to Thornwall Keep. As you spy the fortress up close, you see that veins of bronze-colored ivy cling to the keep's ancient 3-story stone tower, the tallest structure in Vogler. From its crenellated roof rises an elaborate device resembling a catapult. Crumbling ruins of walls and other fallen structures surround the keep, and amid them lie several shallow square pits and covered excavation sites. Darrett calls out and he says, "I've brought breakfast and your friends, Becklin." And after a moment, you will see Becklin come around a corner, exiting from the entrance to the stone keep. Well, it's good to see all of you this morning. Welcome to Thornwall Keep. It's not so much a keep anymore as just a relatively defensible tower.
Time has not done it well. It seems there are excavation sites around here.
Yeah, this structure has stood since before the Cataclysm, and well, I guess I've taken it upon myself to do some excavation and dig up some of the old ruins and see what stories lie in these old stones.
Ah, you fancy yourself a scholar then?
It's more like an educational vacation / retirement. But the order has asked me to... Oh. I mean, to be frank, I requested the station. I like digging around history, and this place has a lot of it.
Well, if you can love what you work.
But hopefully you've all been able to enjoy breakfast on myself. She looks to Darrett, who gives a curt nod and hands whatever fish pies remain to her. She takes one out and eats one. Well, please do come in. The lodgings are quaint and really just for one person, but I do have a table with some chairs you can sit at while I fish out Ispin's gift. She shows you inside.
We'll head in there.
Yeah, the room itself is exactly as simple as she tried to describe. It is very Spartan-esque, just enough here for her to live comfortably. The upper floors have ladders and stairs that ascend, and she steps into what is a small adjoining room where she returns from, carrying a small, shallow box, approximately 3 feet to a side. She sets it down gently on the table. Well, Ispin left this for all of you, she explains. But it comes with a condition. Since he won't be attending the Kingfisher Festival this year, he he wanted you all to participate for him. Specifically, he'd hope you'd take his place during the reenactment of the Battle of High Hill. Every year he looked forward to participating and dying in an even more ludicrous way than the year before. Becklin smiles at the memory as she opens the box, revealing a round green shield.
It's the shield.
Ispin shield. I had wondered when I didn't see it in the boat.
Yes, it seems that he wanted it for all of you.
Hey,
The
I
shield
was
is-
right.
It's true, you were right. The shield is carved with a scarred broadleaf tree and painted a mossy green.
All right, we break into 4 quarters. Each of us take 1 piece.
This is a relic. It's a piece of history.
Yeah, and you can recall the tale that Ispin spins when he spoke to you of how he earned the shield when it was gifted to him by a unicorn in the far-off forest of Darkenwood.
All right, well, if we don't break it, we'll have to do some kind of contest or perhaps a game of straws to find out who takes shield.
Something like that. But first, to get that, it sounds like we have to take place in this reenactment. What part did he normally play?
Oh, Ispin, he just takes place as one of the soldiers of Lord Vogler's army. So, nothing terribly important, but he did like to display a certain prowess of glorified death. So, if any of you want to try your hand at beating his record last year of being trampled by a horse, shot by 3 arrows, and then decapitated by an orc, feel free.
That sounds impossible to one up.
We will have to top it. It is the only way to honor him.
You say that he wants us to be part of reenactment and what else? Or was it just reenactment?
His last words were to, well, not his last words, but his wish was just for you to participate in his stead, since he won't be able to do it himself. I added the bit about him dying in a gratuitously over-the-top manner, as was his custom.
I thought you mentioned fishing contest for a moment, sorry.
Oh, well, there will be a fishing contest in town.
Did he do that?
No, that is not a condition for the shield.
I will revoke my right to shield. You 3 fight over it.
I would
cannot
definitely participate. It sounds like fun.
It's
It
not
will
my
take
kind of
ahead.
fun.
Nemor, you must join us. It is the only way to truly honor Ispin's death.
I honor him the way I honor him, and I must do nothing.
Come now. I believe. Listen. He looks at you with passion. I believe you can be decapitated by an orc, even more brilliantly than he ever could.
He looks at you deadpan back in your eyes. He goes, I do not pretend to be decapitated by orc. I have orc try to do it in real life, and I stop him. This not joke to make fun of for me. I watch you play your little game. You fight for shield, perhaps I am entertained.
All right, I can see that you can't. I'll leave it be.
Can't? Sure. If it mean I don't have to.
Yeah, I will definitely participate as well.
I still think we break into 4 quarters. Would make great plate.
If
What
it
would
is
you-
a magical shield, we may not be able to do this.
Who uses magical shield? What about magical dinner plate?
Yes, I do believe there was some debate as to whether the shield was as magical as he claimed, Becklin says with a smile.
Pretty sure just wooden piece of scrap.
One day I may be able to tell. We'll see.
That would be like him, making a mountain out of a molehill.
I bet he's laughing in whatever grave he in now. The idea of me being out there, making fool of myself.
The middle of the ocean grave.
Yeah, perhaps a whale eat him or something.
Yes, that would be the most honorable way.
But yeah, our party is, since you've agreed to take place in the reenactment, Becklin will award your party the shield, and you can decide to chat with her if you like, or you can return to the town to enjoy the festival.
Nimoy like runs his fingers down the shield just to like see where the breaking points would be.
I think it's magical.
Eltcom would probably ask Becklin, so with your excavation, has you found anything interesting?
Well, so far to say, I think the only thing interesting about this keep, aside from whatever tactical advantage it might have afforded in the past, is the catapult top. But that was not something native to the structure. That was added by a gnomish friend of mine. He calls it the gnome... Wait, hold on.
A gnome.
She thinks for a moment. It was Flinger something.
What was this gnome's name? Flinger, you say?
Flinger.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of the cute name he gave the catapult.
Oh.
Who would name their child Flinger?
Who is the
Wouldn't
gnome?
take very much to fling a gnome.
How do you know?
They're quite small.
Have you tried?
Oh, let me see if I can find the
No,
name.
No,
I don't know very many gnomes.
It's true. I have never seen a gnome.
I like gnomes.
Are they?
No, he did call it the Gnome Flinger. I could have sworn he had a more inventive name than that, being an inventor, but I guess simplicity was the way for this.
Elquin, you are a magic user, correct?
Indeed.
Can you detect if this shield has magic?
I am not versed in that
And
kind.
tomorrow.
I could
Why?
put axe through it right now and see if it's magic.
We don't
Would
want
this-
to ruin the shield.
It is already garbage.
The moons are not aligned correctly today.
Moons.
Put it this way, would you do this to your bow?
If it bad bow. I spent that thing for insufficient equipment.
Well, if he had it that long and he survived till he die of old age and not in battle,
I think he
Come
have.
back
I
an
think he
army
have.
of ogres with this thing.
I do not think this same shield. I'm pretty sure he get multiple shield and then exaggerate, say it's same shield.
Or it
Oh,
could just,
totally. But
or it could
he
just
held
be
back
magic.
an army of ogres with this one, apparently.
And he was decapitated by an orc.
I have good feeling it was probably one ogre. He exaggerate a lot.
indeed he did.
It was his particular charm, Becklin says.
It was fun, but not useful.
So shall
Alright,
we
so...
go,
Go ahead.
should we go down to the village?
When is the reenactment?
No, that takes place this afternoon, so if you want to take place in the fishing festival or other parts of the festival, you don't have too much time.
Well, there are things to do downtown. We should go do those.
What things? Are you talking about more of the drinking that you were doing last night?
No. I tested all the drinks here. We're good.
Alright.
No, but there's fun.
Fun.
Oh, and I got everyone masks.
What mask?
Oh, I start pulling masks out of my saddlebag.
I thought those were secret.
Well, now it's the festival day, so they're no longer secret.
What does my mask look like?
Probably a very grumpy looking, like, actually kingfisher, like, bird.
Why this bird so upset? I don't look like this. It's on for a second. He says, "This is silly."
The masks are not to make you look like you already do. They usually make you look elsewhere.
I understand the mask work, Geld.
It does fit you well, though.
Does it? Or do you just
What
not
it-
like looking at my face?
Could be a little bit of both.
Perhaps you put your mask on. I don't have to see your face for all I want.
What does my mask look like, Alex?
I think yours is one of the is some fish from the river, but like toothy.
Ooh, yeah.
And then Elquin's is definitely a crane.
That makes sense.
And then
you're-
mine is probably something small bird type. I have to think about which
It's
one.
just a deer. Just look over to Thrag.
A deer mask for the deer. That's great.
So you are a deer.
Just as much as you are a toothy fish.
True.
Okay, well, shall we make our way to the festival?
I will hang my mask on my bag.
All right.
I think so.
Festival sounds fun.
All right. Our party will say goodbye to Becklin, who sees them off warmly, and mentions that if they decide to take place in the reenactment, she will see you there.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
Now, I am noting the time. It is 10:40. How late did people want to play today? Should we wrap things up, or do you guys want to run till 11?
11's fine, as long as it doesn't exceed for me, yeah.
Yeah, 11's fun.
Yeah, I can take till 11.
Could do that.
Okay.
Up to you.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure nobody has plans or is itching to get to sleep. It is a work night after all. So,
Mm-hmm.
Do not be
But-
surprised if you lose me at festival.
well, our party will head back to town and catch the beginning of the festival, or at least, yeah, the beginning of it. You make it to the center of town just in time to hear the mayor addressing a crowd of eager festival goers. The town square itself is a village circle centered around a ancient-looking tree, one that has definitely been here longer than most of the buildings in the town. To the north part of this village circle space is the mayor's home. It's rather large, respectably so, compared to the rest of the buildings, and very well maintained. In front of the mayor's home is a large iron bell attached to a single solitary post with a rope line attached to it. Now, the space itself has been converted for the festival. There are streamers everywhere, people eagerly awaiting the mayor's address, and a stage that has been built that the mayor now stands upon. There are also many temporary stalls selling food and colorful crafts in the center of the circle. The ancient tree itself providing shade for happy picnickers, or maybe the wayward Nimoy. Now, on that temporary stage, you see a band of local musicians bringing spirited songs to a close, as Mayor Raven takes the stage. She is a middle-aged woman with dark ebony skin and braids adorning the top of her head. And she throws her arms out towards the crowd and says, "Welcome, friends!" Raising her arms higher still, "Welcome to the Kingfisher Festival!" The crowd cheers and applauds. A circle starting to fill with more and more people as they hear the mayor calling out. She smiles widely. "Today is a day of not only revelry, but reflection. We are all here thanks to the courage of heroes who came before us. Let us honor our founders, our family, and all those who can't be here to celebrate today. Enjoy your festival, Vogler, with good spirits, good times, and good friends, and look to the Kingfishers for good luck." An energetic round of applause and cheers follows the mayor's words, and with that, the Kingfisher Festival is officially underway. Now, there are many activities to participate in, from eating, drinking, shopping, but the most notable one is the fishing contest itself. It runs the length of the festival up till the noon reenactment, and anybody who wants to participate in it is welcome to do so. If not, we can sort of narrate how our individual characters engage with the festival, culminating in adjourning to the reenactment.
Oh, I definitely participate in any tournament.
Awesome.
Are there rules for the fishing thing?
Any questioning as to how the fishing contest goes is answered with simply, you just show up, you're given a fishing pole, and you're to catch the biggest fish you can within 3 10-minute rounds. And the person who catches the biggest fish wins. Simple as that.
Do you have to use the fishing pole?
You do get a couple curious gazes, but yes, you are to use the fishing pole, provided.
Okay.
No magical tomfoolery.
The idea running through my head was cast sleep on all the fish. And then
That sounds like magical tomfoolery.
Mage hand the one biggest fish out to myself.
That would be called cheating.
That's why I asked.
Good.
I guess I'm not using guidance.
It is a test of one's skill.
Yeah, guidance is part of my skill.
That skill, I think,
Your
would be
skill.
more in... That skill was lost on me. I think that's more your territory.
I have fished in my day.
I can fish if needed.
Show 'em how it's done.
I am not that good a fisherman.
You want me to teach your brother? He looks very skilled.
I do not need you to teach me how to fish. I know how to fish.
But you said you've never eaten a fish pie.
No, I've not made a pie, Zrag. Out of the fish that I catch, I eat them as is. Fish.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned you never ate fish.
No, I said no fish pie.
You are confusing, Drag. I will show you how to fish.
You do not need to do that, Zrag. I know how to fish.
Teach a drag how to fish. He'll try to teach someone else.
Why don't you find someone else to teach?
Perhaps.
And this is a town of fishermen. I can only guess that they will be teaching us.
Most likely.
Thrag finds the smallest fishing pole.
All right.
I will fish for the sport.
So, just to confirm, we have Thrag, Nimoy, you said you're fishing for the sport. Are you part of the contest?
I will do the contest, if not for sport.
Okay. So that's 2. Laffy said absolutely. Is Eltquin joining?
I think Eltquin will sit this one out.
Okay. So, you will all be given a fishing pole, and you line up on the wharf facing out into the water. Contest rules are recited by the judge, and you see, like it was prophesied the night before, the Mayor Raven stepping into line with the rest of the competitors. She beckons everyone else to line up along the docks and says, "Well, it's time to find out who among us Kingfisher fisher folk is the Fisher King." And with that, she casts her line in the Vidgard River. The competitors receive her pun with good-spirited groans and laughter, then cast their lines as well. Now, how this competition works?
While we're lined up, I'm carving my I'm carving the handle of my fishing rod to be more comfortable.
You see, like, the judge giving you like a weird look and
Flakes
shrugs
of wood.
and doesn't say anything. So, how the contest works is we will be making survival wisdom checks for every 10-minute part of the competition. And it's a catch and release sort of thing. So the fish that is the largest over that 30 minutes is going to be the fish that you present for your potential victory. So let's have everybody roll their survival check for the first 10 minutes of the competition. Oh shit, okay. All right.
Wait, you're experienced in survival? Wow.
Yeah, Leonins are actually predisposed to have survival.
Oh no, I was sorry. Nimoy is expertised in survival.
Yes.
Oh,
Jeez.
Okay.
Indeed I am.
All right. So our lines are cast, and our characters do their best to fish the largest fish they can. And as you all pull line after line, trying to tag these fish, we will see everybody eventually managing to get at least one. Thrag, I see you've rolled here 3 times. I take it I'm taking the bottom one.
Yeah, the bottom one. I accidentally rolled an 8 after the 20 was an intimidation check.
Oh,
Remember?
right. That was from way before.
and I just randomly rolled an 8 a while ago.
Okay, cool. All right, so starting with a Laffy, you are able to pull up a tiny river eel. It's about a foot long. Unfortunately, you see many fishers beating that size handily, including Thrag, who is able to pull up a mature curist carp. That is a fish that has like almost plate-like scales running across its length. That is 3 feet long and far larger than anything anyone else has ever caught. Now, Nimoy, right about the end of the first 10 minutes, you feel your line played with, but your practice at this skill knows that you need to toy with your fish. It's toying with you, and you're not going to lose this competition. Not to this sport that is currently playing at your bait. You wait patiently until finally you feel it commit, your line going taut and your bobber sinking into the water lightning fast. You pull, sinking the hook into your catch, but then you see the line go razor taut. You have a split second to react before the line itself snaps, lurching forward, giving it just enough lag for the fish to run itself ragged. You give it a hard pull, bringing it back in, and out of the water flies a humongous fish. The crowd goes completely silent as that giant fish lands in your arm. Raven looks over and says, "By all that's good, is that what I think it is?" She pushes through the crowd. "I can't believe it. Someone's finally caught the old bastard. That's Benabog the line breaker."
Oh no.
I am completely shamed.
This is the perfect outcome.
I have...
The perfect outcome.
Okay, this is about to get bad. I don't know how bad this is gonna be, but this is about to get awkward, and I apologize because I already had this in mind for Nimoy, but I wasn't expecting it to be this thing. I was expecting it to be a big fish. Okay. Oh no. He's immediately just. They say it's like kind of like a title, and he just says, "This fish," and he just slaps it on the ground, and he's immediately like dagger out, just begins gutting the thing, skinning it right there.
Yeah, Benabog is 8 feet long. This fish is massive. And you hear some gasps from the crowd, and the kid starts crying as you start like gutting the fish right there. Raven laughs and says, "Benabog's finally been put to the sword." Well,
he starts divvying out the meat and just slapping it, pouring it on his coat.
Congratulations are in order. I'm sorry, everyone, but there's no bigger fish in the river than Benabog was. There's some... Oh, darn it! Kingfisher's luck be upon that one. And you are awarded the prize in the first 10 minutes, catching the biggest fish in the river. Raven walks over to you as you're currently, filleting this fish. She pops a squat next to you and she says, "Well, truly a fisherman like that has not stepped foot on these wharfs in quite a few years since my father's time. Well done."
These fishing, mostly luck. Little bit of patience. That is all.
Well,
He says, "Hold out your hands." He goes, "Here." Just gives a big clunk of meat to her.
she takes it completely, at least in some way, used to dealing with fish. She doesn't react to the raw meat being put in her hands. Though she does smile and exchange something with you. She hands you a exquisitely crafted fishing pole. Looking upon it, you can see that an expert carver has worked this fishing rod.
This is good work.
Yeah, and just looking at it, you can tell this thing is worth beyond its weight in gold.
This in
from
the
craftsmanship
gate.
alone.
This in the gate. You have good wood carvers. It's best thing I've seen so far out of your village.
Well, my father would be pleased to hear you say so. This particular gift has been handed down our family for generations, and I put it up for prize this year. And it's yours.
Very
Take
nice.
care of it.
I will not burn it. It's good wood.
She chuckles and stands up.
Nimoy's gonna hand
Congratulations, Nimoy.
He just nods. Nimoy's gonna hand out this meat to the other contestants, his allies, and whoever will take it.
I have been completely... I will never recover from this defeat.
What defeat? It is fishing. You don't win or lose, you just fish.
He just hands you some fish.
You shame me even further.
There is no shame but what you bring yourself, my friend.
You shame me even further.
I cannot help you.
He lets his fish go.
It was perfectly good fish.
It was
We were supposed to release them.
Why would you release fish? You fished it.
It's the spirit. You're supposed to honor nature.
The only spirit I know of is the one that leaves the fish body when I kill it. I honor that.
Also, most of nature is pretty terrible.
It is
Aren't
only
you?
nature.
Well, as our players are having this exchange, and as Nimoy is receiving his victory prize, Eldquin, you will hear a man guffawing behind you.
Guffawing?
Jasuki!
Oh, such simple folk and their simple contests. Truly, I couldn't think of a more droll thing to celebrate on a festival.
Kyle, I immediately roll an intimidation check and stare at him again.
You're not near this, unfortunately. You are in the middle of your contest and exclaiming to Nimoy how you've been bested and shamed in your contest.
Okay.
I said, this is usually the opinion of one who cannot win in these contests.
Yeah, do you turn to say this to this individual?
Yeah.
All right, you will see someone that you have not met before.
Oh my goodness. This is a gentleman.
Yes, the man with a portly belly and finer clothing than you've seen anyone in town wearing, adorned with jewels and gold. He stands out like a sore thumb, almost as
hope
much
he
as
has a
his
box that he
shining
brought
bald
here.
head.
I hope he has a box that he brought here so we can sin like that.
He's got a stump he just carries with him.
Yeah, no, he's totally standing on a box with his leg up captain style. Maybe not brandishing the sword though. And he says, "Oh, for sure. But contests like this are for those who have something to prove. Myself, of course, far beyond such things. But you look like a well-to-do sort of individual. By what name are you called?"
My name is Eldquin Fryn. And, you might be?
Oh, I am Lord Becaris Uthesteed. The pleasure is all yours.
Certainly.
And what part of the world do you hail from, sir? I can tell by your garments you're not from around here.
I spend most of my time in the Tower of Wayrith.
I thought I recognized the bookwormish sort of energy from you. A caster from high sorcery orders, no doubt. Truly, the only name worth knowing in this entire village, I'm sure. Well, before you get bored of this place, do try to have fun with the yokels. They're simple folk, but good for some entertainment. Yeah, with the side hand.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time here as well, then.
Oh, truly, it's already been ruined. I was going to try and distract some of the competitors because that would have been entertaining, but I see they've already ended the competition. Oh well, I'm sure there's some other entertainment to be had. Do have a good day, sir. And he waddles off.
Can he have a cape that just goes flourishes?
Yeah, he has a long, lavish cape that he throws around dramatically whenever he turns.
Twice the
I feel like
it's gotta
it
be
should
real long.
flourish badly though.
There's a, what is it, like a common magic item that's like the cape of
Of
flourish
I have
or
that
something.
in the tomb.
Tomb, yeah.
Yeah,
He definitely has that.
Eldquin, although you might not have the best passive perception, you would even hear him make the sound, the exaggerated cape flowing sound when he turns.
With his mouth.
With his mouth, yes.
He's got to turn it dramatically and then shimmy away.
That man is going to get himself in trouble someday.
But... Oh, go ahead.
Elquin would probably go to Nimoy and say...
Oh, look, one more piece left for you.
He'll take it and say, I told you you'd show them.
They showed them nothing. I simply fished.
And you win.
Yes, they give me fishing rod. Pretty nice. I will take.
Yeah? Well? Are you going to win the rest of the contest here as well?
It seems as though I have already done that. I thought we would fish more, but I guess it's over.
Well,
You
you
beat
have a
them to-
fishing pole. You can keep doing that.
Oh,
Beat them this badly.
perhaps I will.
Only pulls up minnows from now on.
Did take a long time to gut the fish. I'm kind of tired. Usually you only fish for one fish, then you eat the fish, and then you are done. You don't do more. But is what it is.
When they are fishing for themselves, their family, the rest of the village. This is why they fish so long.
I would fish longer if it was my job.
True. Anyway, I am going
Where are you
to
going?
prepare for this reenactment.
Alright, I go with you. I need to get my clothes clean. Lots of fish blood. I did not bring apron.
All right. Now, I think that's where we will leave our party for this session, cleaning themselves off respectively and preparing for this exciting reenactment at the Battle of High Hill. But unfortunately for Nimoy, the rest of his journeys through Vogler would not be undisturbed.
Oh no! It happened again.
Yes, legend has already been written about the masterful ranger who wandered into town and single-handedly caught Benabog on his first cast.
Anyone who bothers him, he's like, not me. No, different guy. You have wrong person.
You would spend the rest of this day, everywhere you go, someone has heard about Nimoy, the Slayer of Benabog, and you would be handed free drinks and food and coins.
So much of it is declined.
Appreciate your legend.
So much of it is declined.
It's not me. Wrong person. You got wrong man.
And I just lean into Eldquin.
Why does this happen everywhere I go?
You have a knack for taking care of people's problems, brother.
I just do what I need to do, and that is all.
This is what needs to be done.
Could do without the people.
But as it is 11 o'clock, I think that's where we will call it for today. Masterfully done, everyone. This has been a pleasure. And I will see you all... Well, I don't think we're playing next Monday, so 2 Mondays from now. Yeah. And we will resume with the reenactment at High Hill and the conclusion of the Vogler chapter.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us over on YouTube. We will see you soon. Bye!
Yeah, it's been a blast, everybody.
Bye!